Hello, everybody, and welcome back to We Bought a Mic, a podcast about the best TV of 2025. It's Listomania Part 2, the final Listomania. It's 2026, another year, another list down. This is the top of our top 10s. Listen to Part 1 if you want to know the first half. We talked about a bunch of good shows, but now it's the top shelf. Welcome. My name's Ernest.
I'm still the chief kindness officer of the podcast. My name is Hunter.
I'm Drew. It's about to dip below freezing and we're in a garage.
Yeah. We're in Orlando, Florida, and the feels like is 9 degrees.
Do you need a blanket or a jacket?
No, I just want people to feel bad. You know what I mean? I want them to know the sacrifices that we make as podcasters.
Yeah. And welcome back once again, Dane. How you doing? How you feeling?
Feeling 6 degrees.
Are you cranking the heat? What's your situation?
Oh, I am cranking the heat.
And running a ceiling fan, too.
Oh, yeah, I was cranking too much heat, apparently.
And a t-shirt for the visual listeners.
Heat and a ceiling fan. Your lips must be
You're going
dry.
Wami tuck tuck. Do you guys agree that being a podcaster is just as difficult as being a pediatric oncologist? Or?
Absolutely.
I think it's harder.
Yeah,
actually.
okay, yeah.
So I think you guys are the real heroes.
Thanks.
We left off in the middle of round 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, naturally.
So
just a
you don't need to
natural
explain to people. They assume that's where we left off.
Very normal spot to end.
one thing I haven't said, but hopefully it'll be obvious to if you look at the description. There are time codes that I put. So if you want to skip around, if you haven't seen something, I'll try to give a warning if we spoil it, but you can always jump around if you haven't seen something to what you want to talk about.
Ernest
for
does
every show.
Ernest does painstaking work on that shit. Seriously.
It's a flow. It's been a few years. I got it down. All right, Drew, number 4.
I got Pluribus here.
It's my number 3.
Okay.
So
let's talk about it.
Let's go ahead.
Is that everybody? I think we all got it.
We
right?
all agree it's below the haha you clowns line. But
do you have where do you have it, Dane?
I have it down at 6.
Okay.
6.
Okay.
It's all in our top 10s.
Awesome show.
Yeah.
How do we talk about this show without? We're going to have to spoil it.
Okay.
You just said a whole spoiler thing. This is a show you got to talk about the things.
How do we feel about the ethics of having sex with a hive mind?
So let's just say, I think I brought this show up briefly on some catch-up episodes. I didn't say anything about the premise of the show.
You literally said this is the greatest show of all time.
I was going to say.
You literally.
I will say, if there was ever an overhyping to ever happen from a catch-up episode of this podcast, it was probably from that.
No,
you're just
I think it's
this
fair.
will go in the pantheon of great pilots ever made.
That is one of the great pilots
It's
ever
an
made.
awesome pilot. Yeah,
It is.
Let me just say, so just rewind back the clock a little bit. Hype Draft 2025. Yeah. You took this. It was untitled.
Yeah, maybe called Waikaro back then.
Yeah, which turns out to be the book she's written. I went back and I listened to what you said. You described it, Drew, as Vince Gilligan made The Leftovers, which is kind of what this is. In a way.
A lot of Spanish. Sure.
Just based on the hearsay, just not even a description of what actually was, just the rumors, right?
Yeah.
But once the show actually started getting promoted, that's not what they're selling. They weren't selling anything. They were selling smiley face.
How do you sell this show?
Yeah.
This is it's a miracle that this show exists.
Licking.
This is like the least algorithm made premise of all time.
But the marketing of it didn't even try. It didn't even attempt to hint at anything. Mm-hmm. So to go into it basically expecting nothing really, unless you're tapped in and this is the guy who made Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, and we know Ray Seahorn from Better Call Saul. There's nothing in the marketing to let you know hive mind, right?
No.
I think, and even at that point, or at least have a good indication tonally what you're going to get. Because I will say that this is of a piece with other Vince Gilligan works, just in the episode to episode. Yeah. The humor that comes within the episode itself, the pacing, although this is, if we're going to compare it to something like Better Call Saul, this does a much more, I don't want to say better job, because Better Call Saul, it when it hits, it fucking hits, but it is a more compelling introduction to this world than something like
Well, you're
that. But it's
going
still-
off of an established world.
Still, this is not a show that's interested in like the mystery solving of it all. You compare this a lot to Lindelof whenever we first got here. And like, I guess a little bit in the most broad sense, but to me, this feels wholly like a Vince Gilligan show. Like
It ends up feeling that way. I came off the pilot feeling that way because I thought, based off of the introduction, that we were going to broaden the scope and that we were going to meet a bunch of different characters in this world. And it turns out we don't. It turns out
it's
we're
just
very
a character study, really.
we're very zeroed in on this one experience. And yes, there is this, Mr. Manusos coming in from the sidelines very, very slowly. By the time we get there, by the time this thing wraps up, I thought it was exceptional. I am very, very sympathetic to the criticism that people throw at this, saying, I don't want to spend time with somebody this unpleasant, so much time with somebody this unpleasant. Like, I totally get that. But I do think it is a very deliberate choice on Vince Gilligan's part to tell you this person is so human. She rejects the notion of giving up her humanity.
Yeah.
Her unpleasantness is her humanity.
That's what the show's about. It's about how it is better to be a miserable person than to not be a person.
And maybe being miserable is the most human thing that we can be.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that facet of the criticism. Obviously, the most predominant criticism from like non like critics is just slow, turned off, which that's pretty stupid.
Yeah, you know what else was slow? Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And Better Call Saul.
Yeah, like something slow. I didn't get my immediate gratification. It was a slow burn.
Yeah, but this is just a 100% wholly unique product, and it is so fun to see a mind like Vince Gilligan like attack a premise that is so unlike what we expect from him. Even though he's worked on, fucking sci-fi shows before, like he's worked in ambiguity plenty of times, but the process-oriented piece of his brain is taking over this show, and it's so fun to me. Like he's just a guy who's obsessed with like how things work, and so that's like what you are watching half the time.
Watching the silent logistics is really the most like Vince Gilligan feeling aspect of the show. It's just lines of people not saying anything, all smiling while they like carry boxes and load them onto trucks.
Yeah, and it's one of the biggest reasons we benefit from that idea is that most of it is real. We're watching like real shit happen. They're not faking most of the important stuff.
Yeah.
I highly recommend listening to the official podcast. Vince is on probably half or maybe a little more than half of the episodes, but it's a bunch of people, everyone working on this show has worked with him before for the most part, with the exception of a lot of the directors came in, and brought fresh perspective. But they are all just absolute dorks. It is so different than any other official show podcast because all they want to talk about is like how they did stuff. They don't want to like really interrogate the big ideas of the show. They just want to tell you like what it was like to do that, because that's how their brains work. And so it's fun to watch this show expecting like, it's a Lindelofian idea.
Exactly.
It's such a big heady premise, but what we're watching is like the granular nuts and bolts of how stuff works.
Yeah. So spoiler alert if you don't want to know. But if you haven't seen the show, I'll just explain it if you are curious. Essentially what happens in the opening moments is a sort of interstellar virus infects the Earth. And it's spread through human contact and then later through aerosol and what seems
chemtrails.
like
it's fucking chemtrails,
which is great. That's a great little bit that they throw in. But where we end up is the situation where essentially every single human on Earth is connected psychically into one consciousness, except for about a dozen people, one of them being Carol, played by Ray Seahorn. And I think one of the performances of the year, if you're looking at the whole TV landscape of the entire year, so much of this show is just her by herself. Crazy. And crazy choice.
I mean, one of the again, one of the only things that we knew before the show came out was the only thing Vince Gilligan was saying is, I just kind of wanted to write a show for her.
Right.
Yeah.
Like this entire thing is just dedicated to him recognizing her talent.
Yep.
And to the point that my favorite episode, maybe non-pilot episode, maybe just in general, my favorite episode of the entire season is Got Milk, which is just Ray Seahorn. She is basically the only actor for the entire like hour-long episode, and it has the classic Vince Gilligan like slow methodical pacing within the scenes itself, but it's just fucking her on the screen.
Great shots there.
Doing stuff. Beautiful.
That's
episode.
the dumpster shot, right?
Yeah,
so
the dumpster shot is in there. This is also, there's just a lot of like just Ray Seahorn acting to either nothing or acting to basically like a brick wall, because
that's where she's putting the
that is the direction
where she's like talking to the camera to send out to people, or
there's a lot of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. She's literally just acting.
She's just interacting with NPCs.
She's like acting while she's acting in a lot of these.
Yeah, it's so layered. It's so deep. It's so human. And then the second element that carries whenever you're questioning like what are we getting at here is it's Vince and everyone he works with, but he can make anything look so good. Like if every shot is fucking gorgeous.
I think some of that also has to do with like the fact that he's like, what if all of my shows were like in New Mexico? It's like, dude, that's the secret sauce.
And he's
filming the most beautiful place on earth.
And he's approaching like the entire aesthetic of the show is so different from his other two, because it should be. Like tonally, it's different. The color palette is different. Yep. It's so rich. But,
it's not yellow,
but which
is good.
Genuinely, like he can make a scene where if you described it to someone, they'd be like, that sounds really boring. But like every single shot is like deserves to be framed. Yeah. It's so beautiful.
And he fucks with you too. Like the fact that we have to hear the voicemail over and over.
He knows.
Well, so, and to that point, and I think this was something that we talked about just like or maybe this was even in the WBAM Discord, great Discord, feel free to join it. The fact, and it speaks to the Carol character, that she can get whatever she asks for. And she could just ask like, hey,
she is not
stop doing the full fucking 45-second message every time that
she wants to be miserable.
She wants to be miserable. Yeah. She wants to sit through that message of like, hello, Carol.
So
right now we cannot.
By the way, shout out, that's Howard Hamlin for my Better Call Saul heads.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, look at that. Wow.
So yeah, you get to see a lot of just like, the writers just having fun with like a sandbox, the ability to just kind of do whatever they want. The only times that I felt myself getting frustrated with the show, usually when you have a protagonist, either they are a good person, so you like them, or they're just so competent and skilled or like driven for their purpose that you enjoy watching them be good at stuff. And there are times where she's neither, because that even if I'm in on her being miserable and like her cause of saving humanity, there are times where it's like, girl, you're not doing a good job with this.
Right.
You gotta, you know what I mean? Like, why are you driving them away? They'll answer any question that you have.
And we're just forced to sit in like almost every micro action. There's not a lot of kind of fast forwarding through the process of any of these things. And I think that the payoff for me is when it contrasts with Manusso's. Mm-hmm. I think that having, this sort of two sides approach to two people dealing with the situation, it really brings a lot to the show. I wish that we would have gotten more of Manusso's. That's my biggest thing with this season is I wish it would have been more of an even split, because he's such a fascinating character and the collision that we get at the end feels so right. I wish that we would have spent more time there.
So on that note, the finale, I think, was probably the best episode of the season. Because it is two people. It's one person who, because of her interactions with the entity, has kind of split off from the other guy, and the other guy has not talked to it at all. So he's on a completely different tangent.
He is Volcel king.
Yeah.
He cannot be corrupted. He's no fap.
Give me an IOU. I'll pay them back when I free them.
His ethics are so cool. You know what I mean?
Man.
Like he never loses sight.
Yeah.
While Carol is asking for every tiny little thing, she asks for a Gatorade.
And like getting pussy.
Yeah. And here's the question. How long would you guys hold out until you just started fucking the hive mind? Because I probably would.
It would okay, in this scenario where my girlfriend has been put into the hive mind and then immediately died, but all of her memories and everything of who she is inside of this hive mind.
Right. Very hard to resist.
Yeah,
but
Dane,
it's
Dane, like I understand the ethical dilemma and like why you might be really down bad, especially when this person is like telling you things that you have only told the love of your life.
Yeah,
right.
Dane, think about
and
this.
And then they send a fuckable lady pirate to.
And what if I'm also part of the hive mind?
And then I'm
like
fucking
all of your
Hunter too.
homies are also you're fucking everybody.
Everybody.
Right there.
I'm high-fiving the boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein, not in the hive mind. He died.
It's true.
He actually died.
Yeah.
They made sure
he killed himself.
Yeah.
It's such a bizarre ethical question.
You are technically fucking every child in the world.
Technically.
Why would you say that?
Dane, that's so fucked. You're such a fucked up person for doing that.
Like
right now.
newborn baby.
So if you're a newborn baby, are you just the smartest person in the world immediately?
Well,
I'm wondering,
there's no newborns that don't get absorbed into the hive mind. What would have been great is if there's like one 1-year-old who's like goo goo, who's just like wandering around and like they
We're
are
trying
now
to
going
figure
to
out.
live in
We need
this
your
world.
stem cells.
Yeah.
there's still fun what
like, you
ifs
have
to
to
explore.
consent.
Yeah.
You know, there's still plenty of things to explore here, even though the show does explain so much to you, like way more than you would expect a show like this to do. I love the nuts and bolts, like how valid the science seems of like the RNA being encoded and beamed to Earth.
So
it
cool.
all feels so like natural.
Yeah.
You know,
the fact that they basically don't know what they're manufacturing in that chemistry lab until it's too late. They're just putting together whatever this thing is.
It's
and then
really
boom,
cool.
it spreads just like that. That I'm telling you, that opening, that pilot is such a fucking rocket ship.
Yeah.
Just every beat of it. You're with the scientists, then you're in the lab. And by the time you get to Carol, it's like you've already seen so much that you don't know how to piece it together until the very, very end of the episode. And also just the fact that we're watching an apocalypse scenario play out in a way that we've never really seen before. We're essentially seeing what I think they've called a happy apocalypse, where everyone's just trying to help each other, right? And that sort of hostile cheer that the hive mind has is very compelling and very different, right? We've seen so many things like The Last of Us, this incredibly destructive rendition of the end of the world where everyone's trying to slit each other's throats. What if everyone was trying to help you?
Well, it's because
what if everyone was trying to please you?
Well, it's because it's not the end of the world. It's just the end of humanity.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
It doesn't have to be violent.
To the point that like these hive mind are like, what can we do to try to reverse humans' effects on the world?
So it also, because like Vince, he contains multitudes, but he really doesn't like to overly explain his like ideology in his writing. That's what I find super, super interesting about the show is I don't know. It's kind of, it's hard to explain, but he clearly knows what he wants to be getting at here, but like the amount of avenues that he describes, like starting with versus what the show became, like at what point do you think they zeroed in on a language for this hive mind that is so ChatGPT? Like, you know what I mean? When this is an idea he's been cooking for years, but like he says the genesis of the idea is he was like, I thought of like an idea of like, what if there was someone that everyone was nice to? Like that was his idea.
Well, I think the first idea for this character was the other guy, the the vivacious guy,
Mr. Diabate.
Yeah, like that was the first conceit for this.
Yeah,
story.
It would just be someone living the fucking
Just
life.
fucking,
which, by the way, that is really fun to watch.
Yeah.
Him like living out movie plots.
I think that like, and this like surely will come up more later. There is a lot more to that character than just sucking and fucking.
No, he has a wisdom to him. He has.
I genuinely believe that he is in love with the hive mind.
He also drops a lot of profound stuff on Carol when she really needs to hear it. You know, he has so much more depth than you think when you meet him. You think he's such a fucking idiot.
Well, even just like that one scene where he's like reenacting fucking Casino Royale or whatever the hell, like with the other guys and stuff like that. You can sense like he is obviously in love with the Hindmide, but also there is like a sadness to him where he's like, no, like you have to do this thing. Like he's having to like explain little bits to like make them more human.
And I think it's like, I read it as like less so he's in love with the Hindmide and more so he just prefers the Hindmide to people.
Well,
like,
prefers it to whatever his life was before the
Hindmide. Exactly. And he prefers like what he can do now versus what he could before. But I don't think that we hear very much about anyone that was in his life that he lost. No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would imagine that he is not fond of human beings, you know?
Yeah. There's a lot that they can still do. He's got like a 4-season plan or something like that, I think. Like that was the pitch. I think where this show stumbled for me is the very end felt incredibly rushed.
Yes.
Especially given, and that's like the finale, incredible. The last 10 minutes should have been like the final episode.
I think that's true, especially just because we had been taking our time so much with other stuff. Been like, we're waiting until episode 8. Where do you guys sleep? Well, let's have like a 20-minute foray into like how these fuckers sleep. Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to this show is a really easy one to write yourself into a corner, because if you're going to establish that these people can't lie, then it's almost like you need to like nerf that somehow. Yeah. Because otherwise like the whole show like barely needs to exist.
The way of them doing that where like the hive mind also doesn't know exactly what's going on, I think is like a really brilliant way to handle that.
And then also the only other way to do it is to make Carol, you know, too miserable to take advantage of that. And then B, give the hive mind a reason to fuck off from her because they hate her so much. So yeah, that's all worth it. But I get what you're saying, because there are episodes where we'll spend 20 minutes, you know, like loading and unloading all of the food in like, what is it? Sprouts?
The whole food?
Sprouts.
Which
so
rocks. It's
cool.
incredible.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite sequences in the whole show. But then whenever 10 minutes of plot contains so much, like at the very end, you're like, what the hell? Like, you start to sort of think, why did we spend that much time back there?
Maybe it's projecting a little bit of just watching the two other big Vince Gilligan shows. But that's why, to me, I'm like, man, season 3 of Pluribus is going to be like the best shit in the world. Like, as this world continues to get larger and larger. Yeah. And I don't think that this is going to be a 6-season show. If I had to guess right now, I'd say this is probably a 3 or 4 season max.
Sure.
Now, again, it's Apple TV, and I'm sure that they were just like, Vince, write as much of this as you want.
Well, it got a 2-season order right up front.
Yeah.
And I am very curious what they're going to do. I would love, I mean, the fact that Gilligan is doing a sci-fi show is already interesting and unique. I do feel a little silly thinking that this was going to be a little bit more Lindeloffian and was going to explore all these other characters and be more ensemble. But I do wonder if he is interested in fleshing out this world outside of Carol in many ways and exploring like what happens if, you know, we get this hint of what Manousos is trying to do. He's trying to dislodge this guy from the hive mind. What happens if he's successful? What happens if that frequency that he's trying to tap into boots a lot of people off the hive mind? What do you do? What do you do if a whole bunch of people are glad to be off, and then a whole bunch of people are like, you need to plug me back in right now.
Yeah, get me back in.
What I will say that it's not Lindeloffian, but is something that Vince Gilligan has done before, is like, why couldn't season 2 we just have a whole episode with that one woman who, like, her entire family went and joined the hive mind except for her?
One of the best sequences.
We could just have like a whole episode that's just with her, like, trying to like recreate her life like she's in fucking Rental Family, like redoing everything and trying to pretend like everything is okay when you're just I think that's pretend here with the unit.
I think that's kind of what we're all circling here, is like, it feels like there's more on the edges to get into, and he wanted it to be about Carol Sturka.
And Rhea is amazing. And the fact that the character is dealing with such loss and such grief and has this split desire and / rejection of the hive mind, right? She is repulsed by it, and yet she's in love with it at the same time. That's a very interesting exploration.
It's another sort of pacing thing, is we do get to feel the weight of her being alone for really long in the Carol solo episode, but it does feel a little condensed, to your point, Dane, toward the end, when like she flips real quick and now she's fucking on her. You're like, oh, Jesus Christ. When we've been watching Manusos like second by second make his way to America.
Bro, the gap. Oh my God.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Practicing his English as he's walking through the rainforest.
Yeah. So great. I want to save the world.
One thought about the future of the show that makes me very hopeful is all, like we were talking about in the last episode about something like Severance, where it's like when most shows falter when the scale gets bigger.
And the questions linger.
Vince Gilligan does not struggle with that. Yeah. There were so many moments in Breaking Bad where it should have stopped working. You know what I mean? Where like, what if you were watching it in real time, you're like, okay, well, I mean, once Skylar finds out, like, what the fuck is going to happen? Like, this, you know what I mean? It can't make sense anymore. And it just kept going. Like he was able to just keep on increasing the scale and the intensity without losing the essence of the show and without losing the focus on our main character. So I have a lot of faith that he'll be able to figure it out, even though it's like really, really heady stuff. And he can do when there's so many options, it's almost like overwhelming, I have faith.
Yeah. He does know how to end a show.
Hell
yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. The Better Call Saul finale is exceptional. I have two quick questions before we move on. Number one, why Caro? Probably bad, right?
Oh yeah,
those books are trash.
We basically know it is.
Yeah, yeah.
I do. I
love that she's invested in writing smut, and
she basically like writes book talk books.
And I love that like by the end of it, it's like. Yeah, they're lesbians now. They were always lesbians. I couldn't do that because it wouldn't sell. And now it's lesbian smut about like fucking dream pirates or something. Like,
one thing though that I do love about that whole sequence of her writing Waikaro is that I do think to the hive mind, maybe it is like incredible because it's the first
only tell the fans.
Yeah. It is like they're incapable of creating new content.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh my God, this is something that's new. This is crazy.
Exactly. That's really smart. And it that's another thing to explore later on is the amount of humanity that they are capable of having, even though they're the hive mind. Because I found that really charming that they're like, oh my God, fuck yeah.
As to that point, does that just mean like our little solo bachelor boy could just like take a big old shit on like a piece of paper and just be like, it's new art, and they're gonna be like, oh my fucking God.
They probably love those portraits of him on the wall.
Yeah.
That he had.
To your point about like the chat GPT-ification of humanity, it's like even these trashy romantasy novels are worthwhile because they're made by a human. The AI could never.
Somebody likes them.
Yeah,
right. I think that's like the point that I get more out of it.
And just like all of the artists who are now part of the hive mind would not let them expend their energy on making art. It is so directed at conserving itself and like conserving life
and eating people.
Which, but John Cena video again, that's just like, it's a great like logical piece of writing,
human derived protein.
Just like after watching that, I'm like, you know what,
Makes sense.
I kind of get how Mr. Diabate is kind of chill with all this.
I mean, my favorite line, I think, and scene in the entire season is when they're watching the trains transport the food.
Uh-huh.
And Carol says, like, I really like the train horns. It's the loneliest sound in the world, and the hive mind has like no clue about.
Yeah,
that.
they're like, oh, we didn't know that she's not told anybody.
Yeah, that is like, I think, like really important to the depth of Carol. Like, so that she can realize that, like, she can explore her own humanity and express herself even with this hive mind, because they aren't the monsters that, like, she originally thought they were.
Yeah, it matters a lot because I don't think they want us to view like Zoja as inherently evil. Mm-hmm. It's just her plight is evil if you are pro humanity, but like that in that episode they do like how she likes the books or wants to hear more of the books. Like that moment, it's like, oh, like the hive mind has the capacity to feel some amount of something,
or at least pretend to.
When
she's asking Zosha to speak in I pronouns, like, and try to be a singular person, I don't know if she's actually tapping into exactly what Zosha felt, but maybe it's what she remembered to some extent.
Well, not even as an individual, but just like the fact that, like, as a hive mind, they're capable of being surprised by things. You know what I mean? They're interested in new things, because they know everything. It's like, oh, that is a human trait.
Did you guys, my other question was, did you guys feel like this show had good golf representation?
She's not bad. Her swing isn't too bad.
She does have a good form. And let me tell you, that's absolutely one of the first things that I'm doing is I'm getting on the tallest building that I can find. I'm just going to be fucking cranking it.
We're going to Augusta, baby.
Oh, actually, legitimately, I'm like, get me a PJ, parking it on the practice screen, and then I'm just going out there.
And we got to do it like week 1 because it's going to grow, and I don't know. And they won't mow that for you because that's killing grass.
Oh, fuck. You're so right. They don't.
The course she's playing on is pretty fucked, because it's been a while.
Actually, that is a good point. Is like there's a lot of things that I guess they just wouldn't be able to do for maintenance of golf.
A couple other fun points just from the official podcast. So much of their discussion with the directors is about extra direction.
Yeah. The choreography.
Well, and the writers too. They had to really zero in on like, what do they look like? What is their physicality? How expressive are they? How much can they know? I think they ended up in a really fun place, where everyone seems very competent, but it's not like you're watching like people do impossible stuff. They're just doing like, it's like ants in a line, So yeah, that's really fun. And then, the other thing is kind of what I was saying earlier. Vince's complete disinterest in explaining to you ideas. When all he wants to talk about is like, we really built that neighborhood.
Yeah.
They built that neighborhood.
He does. Yeah. He does talk about how scared he was of like COVID making it unfeasible for anyone to want to watch this. And now it's like Apple's most watched show ever. That's great.
That's awesome.
Dane, would you immediately want to get plugged in to the hive mind? What would you ask the hive mind for?
See, like getting plugged in, like I understand the value of being plugged in, but I also understand the value of being an individual. So I definitely side with the hedonistic motherfucker.
Hell yeah.
He is, I mean, he's an extreme, but like
you wouldn't go Air Force One, but you would definitely go PJ.
On the
Air Force
One
is tacky.
Yeah.
On the spectrum of like, I would never touch a member of the hive mind to I'm having hive mind orgies. I'm like
closer to the chill.
I saw I saw a really funny video of like, it was like a POV, like you slept with a hive mind, and it's a guy looking disappointed. He's like, you're not going to tell anybody, are you? Oh, everyone knows.
I think what I would do, I would ask the hive mind to like recreate really cool scenes in movies. Like the scene in Close Encounters where like all those guys are singing the da 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 da, like just do that in front of me. Take me to that exact spot so I can just see it.
She's not even. I want. Obviously, they're not going to do this in the show. I want her to be like, so JFK, what happened?
yeah. Just let's go through every
Come on,
that's really good.
Yeah.
I would probably also ask to just be shot into outer space because I don't want to be around for the collapse.
I think that I would let them assimilate me right as I was about to die.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
I think
it's like how people become Christian, like on their deathbed.
Yeah. I'm gonna Pascal's wager this shit.
Exactly. Pascal's wager this. Yeah.
All right, Pluribus. Great show. Better than Haha You Clowns? Maybe. Let us know, listeners.
I don't know. Who's to say? Yeah, we'll see.
Drew, my 3, Drew's 4, Hunter's 8, and Dane's 6. All right, Dane, actually, let's hit Hunter's 4.
My number 4, can we talk about it now? My number 4 is Share Company.
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, so Dane, we're at your 3.
How do y'all feel about fascism?
Dane, save it, but only just for a second, because I have thoughts on fascism.
Okay, so we're gonna
and
wait.
Should stand up against oppression.
Are you the boot or are you the bootlicker?
Is this Andor?
This is Andor.
Okay,
this is
we're gonna wait on Andor.
This is Doc.
This is. This is. I will say this is my number 3 as well as Andor. I actually.
This is CSI fascism.
That'd be really good.
911 fascism. My number one
this is Chicago Ice.
My number 1 is actually the promo for the asteroid episode of 911. I've watched that 1,000 times.
Can we like, if I win some kind of league or something like that, can we just watch those like 3 episodes of 911 to know like what happened with that?
I just want
nothing except for the Dr. Odyssey tie-in. That's the only pre-watching that we do. We have no clue who any of the characters are.
That is the funniest commercial I've seen in my whole life. Like asteroids falling and a guy's like, what the heck?
Yeah. It's like Nathan Fillion is like, huh?
Everyone take cover. That ought to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So my number 3 was Pluribus, Dane's was Andor, Drew 3.
The Rehearsal.
Save it.
Jeez.
Okay, so Hunter, we're at your 3.
My 3 is also Andor, so I guess we're gonna have to save it.
Yeah.
Okay.
God damn.
Yeah, because Ernest is pro-fascism. So
my number 2 show of 2025 is The Pitt.
that is also my number 2.
We're waiting.
That is also my number 2.
It's my number 1.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
So I guess
Well, Drew, what's your number 2?
Task.
Let's talk Task.
Can we do Task?
Let's do Task.
I think we're at Task.
Yeah.
Task, it was so out of left field for me. This is a HBO miniseries created by Brad Inglesby. He made Mayor of Easttown, which I didn't watch and now really need to go back and watch because
watch Mayor of Easttown.
Yeah, like unbelievably. It's a very similar concept going on here.
Same setting.
Yeah, Philly stuff.
What's called Delco? The Delco?
Delco. Do you have a Philly accent, Hunter?
No, I don't want to insult the good people of Philadelphia like that.
Water ice.
I had a good one going while we were watching it. This show, it contains so many more multitudes than you would think on surface level. It has so much depth. The premise of it is literally just like, it's called Task because it's about an FBI task force that is assembled. Mark Ruffalo is the leader of the task force. And then it's just
Ruffalo is Task.
He's Task. And then there's just 3 like disparate cops from different, divisions. And they all come together to solve a string of robberies on like biker gang stash houses. And so what you get, like the Task side, you get a lot into Ruffalo's character's personal life, his family stuff going on, really, really deep, like emotional family drama stuff.
Former priest?
Yes.
Turned FBI agent?
Yeah, he was a priest like for the FBI, and then he became an agent. And then you also get the criminal side on two different angles of it. You get the criminals who are doing these robberies on the bikers, and then you get the bikers, and you get into all of their like deep, like emotional, like personal stuff going on with them. It's just not what you would expect because it's laid out like it's going to be like a crime procedural. Which I grew up watching. I love these shows. If you like
characters, welcome.
Yeah, facts. Like, but if you watch those shows and you love that element of it, but you're like, oh, what if like everybody was fleshed out and like everybody was deeply human? Like this is what that is. Like it has the darkness and it has the complicated, the plotting stuff. But then it also just, I don't know, it contains so much emotion. The performances are off of the fucking charts.
So believable.
I think this is the best ensemble I've seen in years. Like this is and it's Ruffalo and then a bunch of people you maybe have seen once max. You know what I mean? And probably don't recognize in these roles because they're so lived in. This is, it's Philly by name, but like you said, it's Delco. The setting of this is like the outskirts of Philadelphia. It's pretty rural. It's very woodsy. It's very green. And these people are fucking to a person. I was like, who are you guys? Mm-hmm. How are you so good at acting? Like their accents are even good. That's usually the one thing that sucks. And this is a bunch of Europeans and they're doing Philly. Like it's just so well done at every level. Amelia Jones, who was in Coda, is so good. She plays like the sister of one of the people doing the crime. Tom Pelphrey is, I think,
or the niece.
I think Tom Pelphrey is my favorite actor of the year in any show.
Dude, he's so fucking good in the show. It's crazy.
I wasn't super familiar. He's been in a ton of stuff. Back in the day, he was in soap operas.
It's a character that could easily come off as just the villain. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of plaudits to the writing, but it has to go to the performance as well. That he doesn't just do the surface level version of this. The whole point of this story is how the circumstances of these people puts them in a situation where crime comes second nature.
Yeah.
And how it can impact everyone around them. And this isn't a guy who is evil by any means, but he is doing bad things. Mm-hmm. And so what you're left with is a character who is incredibly complex and incredibly empathetic. And even though you're always looking at him from an adversarial point of view, juxtaposed to the Mark Ruffalo sort of heroic archetype, you're never seeing him as the villain ever.
I don't know. There's something about the show that I found it, and I think that one of the reasons why whenever it first came out, I still, despite being a huge fan of Mayor of Easttown, I think it was definitely my top 10. Might have even been like around like top 5-ish or something.
It was on your list.
Came out. Either it was on my list. Love that show. Whenever this came out or was announced, it looked a little bit like HBO karaoke.
Yeah, totally.
That's kind of exactly what it is. And to a point, it is that. Like there's nothing unpredictable about this show. Like you kind of know the plot beats that are going to happen, and it's a little bit comfort food in that way.
There's some surprises.
Now there's more depth, I will say, than like maybe you might be expecting for certain things. But like you kind of know where a lot of these beats are going to go, especially if you have watched other HBO crime dramas like this in the past. But I do think like the big standout that makes this a cut above many of those is in the cast. Like I think that's Tom Pelphrey really is just absolutely
he's fucking stunningly good. So our task force that we get, it's Rough Dog, who's like obviously crazy good.
Incredible work by Rough.
Playing like kind of like a disheveled, leader of this force who's also deeply suffering emotionally, like going through a lot of fucked up shit.
Very wisely chooses. I'm not even going to try to do a Philly accent.
No,
like he's almost like one of like 2 or 3 people who just doesn't even bother.
It's
with
the Mummers and Porters award.
Yeah,
here. Like he's just he's kind of
murdering,
kind of crouched down.
So the force is Fabian Frankel, who is like
hot D
stunningly good again. Yeah, his name's Grasso in the show, but you're watching it, you're like, okay, cool, these are cops, I get it. And then like they get so fleshed out and you're like, holy fucking shit. And every time that the more is asked of these actors, like they give you the dimension. He rocks. Thuso Mbedu is awesome as Aaliyah, and then Allison Oliver, who I wasn't familiar with as the blonde cop, is again, that's like a character where you're like, all right, I get it. And there's just so much more life in there. the more you get to explore this team. It ends up it's a little bit of a spoiler, but like within the Force, we end up getting a little bit of like almost a Departed situation where there's a mole in the Force and then there's a mole in the bikers, you know, and they're each trying to figure it out at the same time.
Hell yeah. So
that's a lot of fun. I don't know, man.
The core, if you haven't seen it and you're curious, I don't think we're going to fully spoil it here, but just so folks know the premise, essentially the biker gang is involved in a lot of drug trafficking, right? But the Tom Pelphrey character is not a biker. He's just a guy who is struggling and trying to make a buck. Yeah. And he finds out through the bikers, like where a lot of these drug houses are. And his whole thing is he hits the drug houses just to steal the money. Yeah. He's not really trying to see himself as part of the drug operation or a criminal guy.
He tries to frame it, at least initially, as like I'm a rival, like part of another rival gang here. Like almost like there's like a turf wars thing so that he can, they don't suspect that it's just like a guy that's doing this. They're just like, oh, it's somebody else coming up on our turf.
Yeah.
Well, he's a garbage man.
Well, and he also has his personal revenge that he's getting out on the bike.
And let me tell you,
you
I
find
have been looking sideways at every garbage man since watching Task that I'm like,
what do they know?
Are you looking through my bags?
So the other piece, again, like there's so many things that like sound pretty boilerplate. The aesthetic of the show is so gorgeous, man. It's
lush.
It's so beautifully shot. Yeah. It again, like we're only in the outskirts. We're not inner city at any point. It was sold as like a Philly show, and it's
in the woods.
It's so woodsy. We're in a lot of like creeks and rivers and stuff. And
there's a texture to it.
Yeah. Like if you grew up like outside of like a mid-sized city, like you recognize this stuff.
Well, the big sort of setup development that happens in the first episode is they hit this house and shit goes wrong, and a little boy is left from this event. And so what happens is now these guys who were just trying to steal some money now have to take care of this child.
Yeah, they got a kid now, and it's, the whole time it's like watching a car wreck because you're like, it's the save the cat thing where like, Robbie, he's a piece of shit, but also like he's not going to kill this kid. And so, he's like redeemable. But the whole show, you're just like, there's no out here, man. You're fucked. Like you're so fucking fucked. It really works. Amelia Jones, is it's just like an interesting, the way that these characters are related to one another is always a little more complicated than what you usually get in a show. Like this is the sister of the dead brother, right? Who is now taking care of a bunch of kids who are not her own. So you know what I mean? Like there are so many weird
daughter of the dead brother.
Yeah,
she's the niece.
So there's all these really
blended family,
weird family dynamics going on, and then Ruffalo's family situation is its own.
I mean, that ends up being so many of these things you're describing are very patiently seeded throughout.
Yeah, you're learning things really gradually.
But by the end, this payoff of what we see with Ruffalo, this pain that he's carrying with him, we don't have to give away all of it, but essentially he is a foster parent, right? And he has this blended family of adopted children. And I guess we can say one of the adopted children is involved in some kind of crime, pending sentencing. Yeah. And that's sort of hanging over the entire story. And brother, the final episode, when we get the payoff to that plot line, oh my God, the tears just would not stop. It
really heavy stuff.
Whatever, like, I guess nitpicks I could throw at this show and sort of all the different storylines and it's because it's trying to do a lot. It's not just a crime story.
It's complicated.
It's stacking a lot.
It's only it's 8 episodes and there's all this shit in it.
The fact that Ruffalo just hits the bullseye on that emotional beat right at the end there.
He locks the fuck in.
My God.
And that's why I'm so frustrated that this has been completely discarded from awards conversations, because in particular, the acting deserves so much. Like to a T, everyone nailed it. Ruffalo, I don't know why he's not cleaning up. I think a lot of it honestly is like, you kind of see it on HBO. You're like, oh, Task. It's like a crime thing. I get it.
I think it also had like pretty dog shit marketing. because it was something that like it did pop up on my radar, and I was trying to figure out. I was like, how have I hadn't heard of it. I had heard of it. It had popped up on my radar, and I said, that's a police procedural. I don't care.
It looks like
For sure.
It looks like an HBO karaoke show. Like it's just like HBO puts out one of those every 18 months.
FBI
every
guns.
6 to 18 months. And I think it's more of a credit. They haven't figured out that Brad Inglesby. I think that now they know between Mayor and Task, like we can just credit this as a Brad Inglesby.
Yeah, he's an
joint. People
auteur.
do
Like this is like he had his fingerprints on the whole thing. He
Shout
wrote
out to
everything.
The way back heads.
There's no writing staff here.
Oh, he did the way back.
He did the way back. Shout out to The Lost Bus.
Oh, he did that too?
He was
Academy
a
Award
co-writer on that with Paul Gringas.
Do we
Really?
do we
Interesting guy.
think it's legit the rumors of the Mayor Task crossover?
No, so what is happening is Task is becoming a show.
No. Sorry, it's Task Sing Song Blue crossover. That's what it is.
Blue?
Song Some Blue.
Task is becoming a show.
Season 2 is happening.
But it's going to be an anthology show because like task forces just happen everywhere with different people in them each time. That's what a task force is. So it's a perfect
apparently
vehicle.
Ruff, according to Variety, Ruff is returning.
I don't think he's going to be leading the force though. I think if I'm guessing he's taking like Martha Plimpton's job, who by the way, she fucking owns and she's in this show. But you know what I mean? I don't think that he's going to be.
He's back to like recruiting on community college campuses.
It's just, I don't know. It's just a really lovely show. I basically watched it twice at this point, and it reveals so much.
How did it hit on the rewatch? You know, because a lot of it is this mystery of you know what's going to happen with the kid, who's the rat, who's the mole.
It's still it smacks perfectly. Like it really works. I watched it twice because I showed it to my family when I was up there, and they like ate it up in just that weekend. So I got to see the whole thing again. And it really works because of. Like there's so much going on that you can absorb it better. You know what I mean? Because it's a pretty dense show, but also just the feeling of it, like the emotion of it, you can still just kind of let it wash over you. It really, it all works well. Like
it's full of feeling.
Yeah.
It's full. Every episode, I think, has this sort of bursting quality where the characters are they're carrying so much weight. The situation is weighing so much on them.
Every time that you think a character is like one dimensional, they get an episode, they get like 20 minutes of an episode to like become a full person. And it just works every time. And it's a credit to Inglesby. Like there are no other writers here. It's just him. And he says in interviews, he's very open. Like he's like, I actually don't even really care about like crime procedural stuff. I like characters. And this is just a way to get them in situations that are interesting. And you really feel that.
Lovely.
You should
Task.
You should watch Mare of Easttown. Because
I know.
I actually do think Task. Maybe it's a half notch better. I think Mare is like right on the same level as this.
I mean, Mare had a lot more hype.
Yeah.
Mare was beloved.
Dude, Kate Winslet's so fucking good. Like she is so goddamn good in that in Mare of Easttown.
I would love to see the crossover. Give me the crossover. I want it. I want Mare and Task. Mark Task Ruffalo.
Yeah.
And Kate Mare Winslet. Bring them together. Make it happen. Okay. Task is Drew's 2, Hunter's 6, and my 6. So Pitt, let's do Pitt.
Let's do Pitt.
The sacrifices we make.
We did a whole episode on the Pitt, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually,
I thought it was good.
I wasn't on the episode of the Pitt. No,
thought it
actually,
was
in hindsight,
good?
I think that we talked about it though a little bit more in depth in our mid-year pod because at that point I had seen all of the Pitt. This show is it's special, man. It's one of the more special premieres in a very long time. It's so exciting. It is taking a genre that has existed basically like since television started in medical dramas and in something that is quote unquote procedural and elevating it to a new level. Of course, it's doing the 24 style thing, as made famous by the show 24, where what if it all happened one day?
You were on that episode, by the way.
I was on the Pitt
just
episode.
checked.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I couldn't remember if it was that one, or not. I will say that the Pitt takes the coward way out of only doing 15 hours instead of 24 hours, but that's okay.
Hey, it's a shift. It's a shift.
15-hour shift. Hey, Jack Bauer was doing a 24+ hour shift. So,
Dane, what did you think?
And unfortunately, he does not piss or shit during the show.
when this show came out, I was like, oh, please, medical procedural, skip. It was the same thing that I did with Task. And then it was, I don't know who talked about it.
I mean,
talking about the became, hour by hour.
Yeah, it slowly became, I think it was me, because that was like when I started watching it, I was like, oh, no one said this. Like, no, if all the discourse about the show, no one brought up that it's real time. That's the whole, that's the biggest thing about it. So,
it's all these people, watching the show. So I couldn't watch it like initially. Because it turns out there is such a thing as like too much gore for me.
Wow.
The eye surgery was what was the thing that got you?
No, it was the fucking the train that ran over the lady's ankle.
Yeah,
that was really
in
tough.
episode 1. They do dial it back. But so I had an interesting experience watching the show, because I tried to watch it and was like, nope, that's a lot. That's too much. And then my girlfriend is like, she is a nurse who worked in an ICU in 2020
at Pitt Fest. She was at Pitt Fest.
she was at Pitt Fest. She was like,
is Dr. Robbie an asshole in real life?
Who's the guy, Langdon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like on episode 1, I'm like, oh, this guy's a piece of shit. And she's like, no, he's just like an ER. That's an ER doctor. They're all like that.
That's really good. They're all stealing
but
drugs.
he is definitely like stealing pills.
So it's been really interesting watching it with her, because like we'd watch it one episode at a time. I'm like, yeah, okay, we watched that. I need something less like generally depressing. And she's like, oh, what? You can't take a whole 12-hour shift? No. Wow. No, I can't. Absolutely not.
You got mogged.
Yeah, the entire show is like, what if you followed an entire group of people who are having the worst day at their job?
Mm-hmm.
The only part of the show that even feels remotely like unreal is the fact that all of that shit happens to them in one day.
Well, yeah. And you know, we'll get to talking about, you know, season 2 a little bit, but that honestly was my primary issue with the decision to even keep doing the show. Is like, you can't and should not try to go bigger. You have to be smaller than that, because
I haven't watched anything
unless you do, you know, 911, you know, meteor, you know, asteroids or something, you know.
Right. Well, I mean, I have not watched season 2 yet either, but the fact that there's like, the only way I get bigger is we're changing the date. It's the 4th of July, which is literally the biggest day in the ER every year. Like, my dad, he is a psychiatric nurse now, but he did used to work shifts in the ER, and it was like 4th of July, New Year's Eve. It's like, those are the hell shifts. Like, you do not want to be there that day because of the amount of just fucking idiots that you have there. I think that at this point, especially in my list, it's just like kind of, I'm putting things that I've just like never seen before. And this is just to show that it made me laugh. It made me like openly weep multiple times, like at just different aspects, both like thinking about the 2 older people that are like watching their elderly parent, like trying to
that was heavy
sign over like the rights for them to die. Obviously you have like a kid who's like basically like dead. The fentanyl kid, but also the little girl who jumped in the pool to save her sister and everything. Like, there's some heavy shit in this show that is just like punching you in the fucking face.
And these doctors just have to carry on.
Meanwhile, Dr. Whitaker's subplot is like he's getting like pooped on.
Is it like I actually called that. I'm like, the first time he changes his scrubs, I like lean over to Sarah and I'm like,
we got a runner.
It's gonna happen again. Like,
they cast him entirely like, I bet the audition was him getting peed on.
I tried to rewatch this season. I made it about 4 episodes before I tapped out, but I will probably try to complete the rewatch. I'm waiting for season 2 to have maybe not the whole season out, but many episodes, because the experience of binging this thing was one of the delights.
Yeah.
I was not watching this thing when it premiered a year ago.
Well, and most people weren't. There weren't a ton of indications it was about to be like the best show of the year.
Yeah.
But it gained steam as the season progressed. It became like the discourse show. Like everyone was like, holy fuck, what's going on here? Like, it's also found a really weird sect of like online fandom that is really funny to me. It's found like the freaks,
heated rivalry.
It's found the freaks who like ship every two characters.
Yeah.
There's so much. I ended up deciding to what you're saying. I ended up deciding not to watch this season until it's out, because I really do prefer just ripping through 8 of them in a row.
Yeah,
because the passage of time works a lot better if you are feeling
it's
it with
also
them.
So good.
It's so
that
good.
You need to keep watching.
Well, it's so good and it's so immersive that I don't like having to spend 5 minutes like remembering stuff and like
From
getting
a
myself
week ago.
locked in. Yeah, I watched
that.
the first, I think maybe 2 or so, and I made the call. I've muted all these words on Twitter now, so you know what I mean. I muted like Whitaker,
Dr. Mohan,
Langdon. It's
Dr. Mohan at Grok.
It's also
Whitaker cock and balls.
It's also found so it's found that weird fandom. They do all the shipping, and then also they like hate Noah Weil like as a guy. Because they found all these really, really minor things that he's done or said that like are like, 'cause you have to think of this man as like a showrunner.
Are you talking about like
your average showrunner is like the worst guy.
Yeah.
Like these are people who have not experienced television. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you,
weird freaks.
like the Zionist shit, or like I know that's part of it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, his wife posted about Israel once on her Instagram story.
Let me tell you about most of Hollywood.
Yeah, like you guys,
exactly.
you guys got to lock in.
all shitty.
Yeah.
There's some horrible things going on in the
If
world.
we're gonna pick and choose the things to actually go after somebody over, this is one of them. I will say this show, big win for Nepo babies. Like huge win for Nepo babies.
Facts.
Obviously, who I watched the entire season without realizing they were Nepo babies. Taylor Dearden, who is the daughter of Bryan Cranston, playing Mel.
Who is, by the way, she is
like one of the actual true like highlights of the entire season. Every scene that you get
she's
of her is amazing.
She's so funny that most episodes she's like in a different show. She's like in a sitcom.
Yeah.
And it works every time because the show has such a good tone. And then, but then also when she gets, depth, you're like, damn, like she can act.
And also Cassie, which I don't think that we mentioned it, Cassie, Fiona Dourif, the daughter of Brad Dourif, who is Chucky. Like literally the daughter of Chucky herself. Maybe Nepo babies aren't so bad.
She's an awesome actor. Generally, yeah, you're getting a really, really cool ensemble here.
The interlocking nature of it.
What is he yelling at?
I'm looking up Fiona Dourif, and she was in Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective
She was in
Agency.
Dirk Gently's. Yeah.
Hey, Dirk
He
Gently
fucking
heads.
knocked it out of the park in that.
She's a really, really
We don't
good
talk about
actor.
Max Landis.
I had never watched her before, and she is a standout in the show. She's very like lived in, there's some it's not like to a T, like it's not full of, I think, complete knockout performances, but everyone gets a chance because of the way it's written. You know what I mean?
Name names.
I don't think Mohan's a good actress. I just don't. You know what I mean? I don't think she is revealing layers at any point in the series.
I don't know if it's her performance as much as it is just the way the character's written.
I mean, that's fair. Like, because yes, some characters are more one-dimensional than others.
Because the whole point of this season is like you have all these people who it's their first day on the job.
First day on the job.
Yeah. So there's a lot of discrepancies there of like throughout the course of these 15 hours, how much are they going to progress as as people, as workers?
Well, it's just because we're talking about a show that is like generational. That you end up splitting hairs that I wouldn't bring up with other shows. Whitaker, that guy has a horrible American accent. And
we love him.
And he's supposed to be from Nebraska.
Are you talking about Garen Howell, our favorite Nebraska boy?
At times it is like brutal. He was cast because he has a perfect face for being like stressed out and young. He looks like the kid in the Puffs Plus commercials.
Permanent worry
he
face.
looks like? He looks like, and I know you haven't seen the movie Hamnet, but it's like if you just took the young boy of Hamnet and just aged him up 10 years, then this is what this guy would look like.
Little Jupe?
Yeah. But if like you just took like a filter for Jupe's face,
he does look
not
like
actually
baby
what Jupe will grow up
So
look like. Hopefully,
the best thing about these procedural shows that this show also has is it gives like really, fledgling actors a chance to really go for it in like one episode, and you get so much of that in this. Like the guy whose son OD'd on fent.
Oh yeah,
that guy is I recognize him because he's been in commercials for the last 15 years as just like a funny guy in commercials. Like not he's not like a spokesman or anything. He just like is an actor who makes his money that way, and he gets to fucking go. And then mom, his wife is in Midnight Mass.
Yeah,
she's a phenom. Like we know that from Midnight Mass.
Head.
Yes.
But there's so many of those little performances where you're like, fuck yeah, like it's like what you love from like Law and Order is it just lets like some random theater guy from New York get to really fucking go balls out for 5 minutes.
So the experience of rewatching this was very interesting. Like I said, I didn't rewatch the whole thing, but just the first couple episodes, the way that it introduces so many of these subplots from the jump, from the first episode, so many of these are introduced. Yeah. And just the I guess like overarching thematic idea of these doctors having to deal with a revolving door of cases while having to carry their own pain and their own trauma and just their own sort of workplace surface level drama. There's a perfect balance of all of it, right? And going back and rewatching the first couple episodes, I was really blown away by like, oh my God, it's all here. They're seeding all of it. The school shooter, maybe red herring guy, the fentanyl kid, the two adult children with the dying parent, like all of this stuff is seeded in here. And again, it's all rooted in Dr. Rami. It's all rooted in his ability to be this mentor, this leader, this sort of juggling act, having to tell one patient something heroin and then turning around and having to just be this comforting figure to this other person. It's all there. And I think when I was first watching it, it didn't hit me until many, many episodes later. So the compounding effect of all of that, but then going back and rewatching it, and I really want to complete the rewatch, I was just really blown away by the fact that like, oh my God, this was a completely figured out. This is not one of those things where like they figured it out as they go along.
They just wrote the pilot. They're like, hope we get picked up.
No, like all the pieces are there fully formed completely. I just kept thinking, I think the thing that has kept me from rewatching, I kept thinking like, oh my God, they have to resuscitate that brand new baby. Oh my God, there's like a massive like bloody shooting.
It's like it's fucked up.
I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, it's heavy.
So I mean, another big shout out is Catherine Lanassa, Dana. Because she plays it.
Emmy winner, right?
Yeah, she's like a lifer TV actress who just gets a chance to really shine in this, and she plays it pretty broad, but the amount of soul that she has, like you see it in her eyes. I really locked in with her performance. It's just kind of a special show. Like you just, as you get into the groove of the season, you're like, oh, there's not been anything like this. ER was a really good show and it ran for a fuckload of time. The people behind this show are behind ER, obviously, beyond Noah Weil, like the other people, the writers.
Lawsuit pending, of course.
Yeah, that's true. But it just, this like concentrates what was great about that and gets rid of all of the fluff. You know what I mean? ER had a lot of melodrama. It had a lot of silliness. This is a good show. For the most part, this show doesn't deal with.
To kind of speak on that, I think like one of the most brilliant things it does is not ending on the mass casualty.
No,
things like that keeps it so incredibly grounded.
Things just like slow back down.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we can open back up. oh, we've got another patient. Fuck.
Yeah.
I want to go home.
To that point, what is the name of the doctor? Like one of the main doctors that you're following throughout the entire season. She's like has the miscarriage and she's gone and turns off her phone.
Tough.
And she's just gone for like the last third of the entire season. Somebody who's like one of the main characters of the entire season
actress,
at that point.
That's another thing that
she just goes away.
People have a lot of questions about that because she's gone from the show. Like there has been no like explanation.
And she's not coming back for 2.
No. Yeah, she's just gone, and no one understands why because she's so good.
Yeah, she's amazing. I wonder
Tracy
if they
a feature.
it away. Yeah,
she's awesome. You do get once you find out that Noah is like the one behind the show, you do get a little bit of the Goodwill Hunting thing where you're like, well, of course you're the smartest. Of course you have all the answers. Of course you're
all
fucking
the empathy.
You're fucking all the doctors. You know, but still, it makes sense. You know, the guy in charge of the ER should have all the answers.
Dane, any other thoughts on the Pit before we move on?
I don't know. I think we like hit it all. It's just all really, really well done. And it's special. It's very nice, I think, to have something that is grounded in reality. Yeah. That like it doesn't like romanticize like the medical profession. And I think the people who are in healthcare really appreciate that it's giving like as unfiltered of a view into like their work life as it can while still being a TV drama.
Yeah.
Also to
so many levels
to that point, I think the only critique I brought up last time we talked about it is like I wanted in season 2, I wanted them to have a doctor who like doesn't care very much because that's something we've all kind of experienced before. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that exists in the world. Even Langdon, who's like a fuck up, like deeply does care about his work and is good at his job.
Yeah.
It's season 2, from what I saw, it seems like they are dealing with like a student who like this just isn't for her. And I like that. You know what I mean? You have to show that. You can't. They can't all be heroes.
The closest that you get is that one doctor who gets called in during the mass shooting.
Yeah, the iced coffee guy
making jokes about it,
and it's just like you get 2 shots of
like he still like cares about his work. He's almost just like desensitized to everything to the point of like no
exactly.
return.
And
like,
you just get like 2 shots of Noah Weil looking at him like, what's up with you? Put your coffee away.
I guess actually like one other really interesting part is like how important like the receptionist and their social worker are.
Yeah.
Yes.
You really don't. You don't think of that as being like a thing that even happens or is necessary because that's not like a part of most medical dramas. But since this is going an hour at a time, like people aren't just like leaving, like their family dies and then they're still around.
And all the people waiting in the waiting room, the guy that like freaks out and punches her.
Yeah.
That was another, that felt like a pretty broad character, to be honest. The guy who is like flat out evil.
The show is very broad. That's one of the genius things about it is it can do both. That's why it's so special. Because it can do the deeper psychological, thematic, character-driven stuff, and it can also be this easy, breezy workplace thing.
Yeah.
We also haven't given. I know we did a whole episode on that, so don't want to like belabor it too much. But the craft of the show is just like that's a whole other thing too about the dull houseification of everything. Where to your point, Dane, like there is like this person where they're not just leaving the hospital immediately, so you might see them 4 episodes later, and it's like, oh, it's only been like a few hours have gone by. They just lost their kid. Yeah, they're probably just like still existing and hanging out in the space.
Again, that's also why like I'm waiting to binge because you know I
want that feeling.
Yeah, well, no, it's just like I don't want to like when you check in with a guy from 3 episodes ago and you're like, what was wrong with him?
Yeah,
was he like is he missing a foot or something? You know,
those episode recaps came in clutch. For somebody who's not binging it. Yeah.
I probably won't be able to wait to binge because honestly, I was binging for this, but every time I boot up HBO Max, it's just like fucking sitting there. For
I know.
me. Like,
it's Noah Wally's giant fucking head.
I just want to fire it up.
Another thing that it seems like season 2 is building is like an arc in which like why Robbie gets challenged. you know what I mean? There's a doctor shadowing him because she's going to take over for him because he's about to go on sabbatical. And you can tell that like
sabbatical.
And you can tell like for now, like he's really, he doesn't fuck with her because he's like, my ideas are the best ideas. But by the end of the season, he's going to be like, okay, I'm kind of full of shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's
not going to go on sabbatical. I guarantee you by the end of the season.
His sabbatical is going to be that he finally does take that step off the ledge of the hospital and he kills himself.
Did you wait?
He's going to go to the White Lotus.
So have none of you seen the first episode?
No.
The way it opens up is like, for my money, like really bad. Like it opens up in the corniest way.
Are they just like reeling off all these Emmys? It's just like off the fumes.
You just feel like I can't do this all on my own.
Okay, so the song that's playing is like it sounds like
no soup.
It's like it sounds like 90s alternative like that, but it's a song you don't know, so you know that like they didn't pay much for it, and it's just Robbie like riding his hog.
What?
For like a couple of minutes. He's just riding his motorcycle and it's like, damn, I love Pittsburgh.
That's cool.
He's like pounding whiskey at like 7 a.m.
It's mostly just because the song that's playing is like, come on, God.
You guys could have shelled out some more money than this.
Who the fuck is this?
All right, so so he wears a hoodie. He rides a motorcycle. What else can we learn about
Wait,
this
helmet
guy?
or no helmet?
Good question. I don't know.
I mean, no one.
You were watching.
You watched it.
I'm asking the question. You saw.
I don't know. He's just ran. I was so locked into this song. I was like laughing.
It's got to be no helmet.
I was like, wait, is this show like bad?
They want you to know that.
You would just be thinking
But
guy
also,
with helmet, not Robbie.
You know what? That might be the most incredulous thing in this entire show is if an ER doctor isn't wearing a fucking helmet while riding a motorcycle. Just riding a motorcycle alone and being a doctor is like, good luck finding those guys because that's
this
like
guy
one
doesn't
of the
give a
things.
freak if he dies.
If you're an
he
ER
wants to die.
Every ER doctor is like
cool.
Never ride a motorcycle and never go skiing are like the two things that every ER doctor says.
He knows who's going to be stitching him back together.
Yeah.
So he's cool.
They'll be fine. Yeah,
I got it. They'll pick me up.
You're
it's
right
fine.
though that like a lot of the charm is that they go so broad. Like Langdon is a guy from like a soap opera. The way he looks, he's you know what I mean. The jaw implants. It's like who the fuck are you?
No doctor has ever been that pretty before. Pretty people aren't doctors like that.
All right, that's the pit. Hunter, Dane, and I's number 2, and Drew's number 1.
I wanted to fight against recency bias because I was like, no, I remember when I watched this show, I was like, this has to be my number 1. I have to remember this.
This was my number 1 up until a couple of days ago.
It was my number 1 until I remembered that the chair company exists.
It was my number 1 until I remembered Andor exists.
Wow.
And that's
So
my
let's do
number 1.
Andor. Yeah.
Great show.
I did a whole episode on this on the feed that you guys can check out for my thoughts. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on it.
Listen, we were a little bit mean when season 1 of Andor came out. I think
I put it on my list. It was a little lower. It was on the 10.
Which in hindsight is kind of confusing why you had it so low because I watched season 1 and season 2 of Andor and
exceptional stuff.
Same. Yeah.
There's a lot of season 1 that I like more than season 2.
100%.
Season 2, I was like, I'm really enjoying this. And then the episode, Who Are You?
Let's fucking go.
And then that I would put up against like any movie that I saw this year, like anything where I was just like, this is.
Well, it's the culmination of many hours. It's that middle.
It's building up to the
chunk of like 4 or 5 episodes. Yeah. What is that? Yeah.
Well, because they do the 3-episode arc.
So it's 6 episodes.
But it's all building up to the Gorman Revolution. And it's one of those things where where it's coming. They're like literally just speaking French on the foreign planet. They're like, I wonder if they're trying to say something.
It's actually they created a new language that sounds like French, but actually it is not. It is Gorman.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not German. It's Gorman. It's like Arrakis is not Iraq.
It's not Iraq. Don't claim that it's Iraq.
I watched so you saw the whole thing for the first time this year? Yeah. Same. Because I'm gonna be hesitant. I'm not a Star Wars guy. This show's.
Hey, guess who's not a Star Wars guy? Tony fucking Gilroy.
Exactly.
The creator of Andor.
The show fucking smacks. It really rocks. Great ensemble. It's just so well plotted out that it does have the rare feel you're just watching a long ass movie. Like
many movies.
The standard of quality for everything is maintained. You know what I mean? Like it does. They don't cheap out. It doesn't feel like they took the easy way out on production in any way. So it's a great show. It really is.
That's what's killing it, right? Is that they spent so much fucking money to make.
It's like half a bill.
Yeah, and it's like and they're like, this show's like too deep.
It's the show
too good.
It's like virulently like anti-capitalism, anti-colonialism. How are we going to make money off of this? I feel like it's just sucking all of our money away.
It's so overtly political. Like, it blows your mind.
It's crazy how like this was at the core. Like this is what George Lucas was trying to do with the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Like you can see all of the seeds of like everything that is happening with the
Genevieve O'Reilly.
Yes, yeah.
The lady.
Her main like the whole senator, like her whole stance is just like we need to like stand up and fight this like resistance, this little step. You know, you don't have to squint too hard to see a lot of the parallels to our day today. But I think that one moment in this season that I do love a lot is that like showing the thank you, Mothma, is showing like the lack of organization and like how frustrating it can be being on the side of wanting rebellion to happen, specifically with where the season starts, where it's just like they just can't get their shit together. Hey, Democrats, fucking take a look at Andor to just like stop shooting each other in the face and like try and find who the enemy
Democrats.
is.
It's any type of opposition, right? Yeah. It's anyone trying to fight oppression.
Well, because it's one of those things where it's the reason why, and again, like to compare this to just the now, it's like what's the most like galvanizing force is something that like makes people feel inspired and that like gets people like riled up. Fascism does get a group of people riled up. And like if you were just kind of somebody who is leading in ambivalence or like leading with just like a sense of like like whatever, like I'm just gonna like not vote.
Well, why?
Like that
I mean, it's such a good parallel because most of the people in that room, they might like emotionally side with the resistance, but they have no vested personal interest in like their life changing that much. Why would they want? Okay, they're doing fine. Like why would? And that's the biggest parallel. It's again speaking to like it does a lot of what the best Star Wars stuff does, which just it breaks down like resistance versus like bureaucracy. Like it's just about how there's so many different layers of government, of like authority forces to make anything happen on either side, on the bad side or the good side. Like it's almost like a Terry Gilliam movie. Yeah. Like it's about bureaucracy. It's about like the paperwork people. I mean,
Kyle Stoller as
who's Cyril.
Oh yeah, our boy.
He's such a little rat fuck.
He like in season
I love
1
him so much.
In season 1, I it's not that I like didn't want to see him, but I didn't care about him. In season 2, it's like this is a guy who's just like a part of a bureaucracy. And like
he's getting fucking,
he doesn't realize how shitty it is until he is like in the shit.
No, he's getting played by his own GF.
Yeah,
Dedra. She rocks too, by the way.
Yeah,
that's
Denise Go.
That's the other thing that this show taps into that Star Wars always did great is face casting. They cast people, just you look at them and you know the role that they're playing. Dedra and Cyril both are so evil.
One of the great
these guys take joy in sharpening their pencils. Like,
but it's so funny early on in the season when you have these moments of like the resistance. They're fighting this big war, and it's just like the little Nazis are like playing house together. Like they're just like, we have to make everything look nice because Cyril, your mom is coming.
Your
over.
Nasty mom is coming. Yeah. The brothel owner from fucking Poor Things is coming over. It's so cool.
Dude, this show is such a special show. I mean, really, like the highlights of this are better than I think anything in TV this year. With the Who Are You episode, and then the Welcome to the Rebellion episode coming up right after that is just absolute peak apex shit. Like you can't really ask for much more than that.
I was gonna ask if you wanted to say anything about season 1, since
I think it's better than season 2.
Wow.
I think it's
boo.
I think that I think that the highs of season 2 are actually higher than season 1.
I just think
as great as I think that the prison plotline is in season 1, which is so fucking good. I think that like what it is, I almost appreciate that season 2, the metaphor, the subtext is just becoming the text.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, there is no subtext.
No,
the subtext
just
is gone now. It's there.
That part's cool. I think season 2 becomes more of like a true ensemble show. Like it almost shouldn't even be called Andor. You know what I mean? If you're like,
I think you could say the same thing about season 1.
No, that's true. But there's definitely more Luna in season 1. Like season 2, he really cedes a lot of time. I think the only times where I felt a little bit like I bumped on something is there are pieces in season 2 where it's clear, you know, if you're building something so big, like this is a long story and everything has to end up with like things intersecting by the end in a certain place. Yeah. Certain subplots are going to move very slow to get to that point because they have to in order to just line up with the stuff that's moving fast. And so I reached a point where I could not watch Mon Mothma at another fucking gala. It was every episode. It was like 10 minutes of her at a gala looking at people across the room.
Bad Andor take after bad Andor take. I could watch Mon Mothma at galas.
And her husband looking at her like, oh, am I cheating? Am I a bad guy? You know, like it got very repetitive.
And so Mon Mothma, I did not get sick of.
I love Mon Mothma. She's an actor.
Genevieve O'Reilly can just like
she can act.
She can. Also, she can do whatever she wants.
Her dancing, the dancing sequence. Oh my God.
It's so good. I felt that way though with the Bix plotline because I thought with where we started with Bix and like her in season 1 of like getting like the most insane sci-fi version of like torture was so interesting to me. And I really thought that was like, oh my God, this season we're going to get like her really like.
Yeah. And it's like, nah, this
is going to be a standout.
She's just kind of emo.
Yeah, she's just kind of like sad and she gets like into like drugs. She's like doing like fucking like
space drugs,
space heroin. And then she just like fucks off at the end of the season. That's it. I am happy that it is only like a 2-season thing and that it didn't get spread thin, but also maybe because Tony Gilroy did such an incredible job of making this. And shout out to Dan Gilroy, Mr. Roman J. Israel Esquire himself. It's one of those things where I want more of this because this is like all in all like the best Star Wars. Like I would put if we're gonna like put it in the like just take Andor and put it in. It's like I don't know. Maybe you put like Empire. Maybe you put like the original one in front of this. Can you put anything else in front of Andor? I don't think so.
It's hard.
I don't think so.
Just if you're just going ensemble, I mean, Stellan, we haven't even talked about,
dude.
Yeah,
or we've been pronouncing it wrong the whole time.
Out of the fucking park.
I mean, he's just like the most.
He's an insane person, and I think that like that's part of what makes it so special is that it's like the good guys. You're kind of like, wow, these guys are all just horrible people, but like they are like that out of desperation and necessity, and everybody's just knocking it out of the fucking park with what they are given. I
want to apologize that we've been actually pronouncing it the whole time the show wrong. It's actually Cassian Andor. It's Andor.
So let me say a couple things about, you know, I think why this show was always in my top 3. The reason why I put it at number 1, I think is mainly because of just how it rings true to current events and just the resonance that it has as we see what's unfolding in Minneapolis in early 2026. But I also think that, you know, to the point about what you were saying about, you know, the initial conceit of what George Lucas wanted to tell with this story, not just in the prequels, but also back in the original movie, I think is just the story of rebellion, right? Mm-hmm. What is a rebellion at its most basic conceit? It's a story of oppressed people trying to fight back against an imperial force, right? Yeah. That is what the original Star Wars movie is about. And the way this show just explores that in such a deep way. And to take the Mon Mothma character and the Stellan Skarsgård character, you have to add the Forrest Whitaker character in there as well. Each one of these represents these 3 points of a triangle of what it takes to actually do a rebellion, right? You can't just have the political side. You can't just have the espionage side. You can't just have the anarchist military side. Mm-hmm. You need all of these.
You can't have Tiana Taylor in one battle after another.
Right. Yeah. You need all 3 of these talking to each other and communicating. Mm-hmm. And what is genius about this story is that they're not going to work together well. They're going to disagree with each other. And they're going to be at odds.
It's because their motivations don't all need to be pure. You know what I mean?
They just need to be headed in the same general direction.
We just need people on that side. Yeah. We don't need them to all be spotless. And I think that's what we lose a lot of the time when we're trying to form a resistance.
And to pair this with something like one battle after another, you know, you have the more surface level stuff like the Sean Penn character and the Cyril Karn here. You know, they're kind of twinned in many ways.
Do you think Sean Penn would like that comparison?
Sure, yeah. But just the idea of the fact that everyone has to have a role. Everyone should have a role if they want to enact some kind of change. I think back to the first scene of this season when Cassian is talking to that Imperial officer that's helping him steal that ship. And he says, you've come home to yourself, right? That idea of like, you just did your one tiny part and now you are part of something much larger, right? You don't have to be the one. Not everyone has to be Mon Mothma. Not everyone has to be Luthen or Saw Gerrera, right? You can just do your one piece and push the mission forward in that way.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
That's something that feels so true to this.
Gilroy does a really good job of taking advantage of what is possible in this world that is so fucking humongous and intergalactic that like in season 1, you feel as though the Aldhani thing is the biggest thing that's ever happened in the world of Star Wars. And then in season 2, it's just kind of mentioned in passing, like, oh yeah, did you hear about those fucking idiots in Aldhani who did that
big coins?
Yeah, where it's like it's a collect. That was not the event that needed to happen. It was one of many. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's like a fractal thing.
But by design, these people that are on these missions, they don't have the full context. Yeah, and that's something that Cassian runs into here when dealing with Luthen. It's like, bro, you're not telling me the reason of what you're having to do.
I'd be so sus of Luthen the whole time. I'd be like, you are so clearly evil. You have to tell me more.
I mean, I think that's like what he looks for in his fucking operators. It's like, if you think I'm a piece of shit, that means you're not an idiot.
Yeah, that means that you're trying. Yeah,
it's like facts, bro.
You know how to be skeptical. I think that to that point though, of like there's all of these threads going on, and like, I think that the show and Tony Gilroy know, like, as an audience, you know where the end game is. Not only just knowing where Rogue One is going to end up as like we have to get the plans to the Death Star, but we know where the original Star Wars is going. Yeah. So therefore, like, we can just kind of dole out these little bits. But I think that the way that this season ties up together, specifically with the Clea character, who is
hell yeah.
Shout out to Elizabeth Dulau. I think
she had basically never acted before.
She was like, I mean, she's kind of like a nothing character in the first season. Like, she's just Stellan Skarsgård's assistant. Like, that is kind of the only thing she does. And then you get this one like flashback episode of her.
So good.
Of like how the two of them met. Really, I mean, from the midpoint on of season 2, it is like humming at a different frequency that is it's so goddamn good. And I mean, she is the crux. Like, she is the thing, the deciding factor that like sets off Rogue One and Star Wars as a whole, because she's like, I don't care if it kills me. Like, I have to make sure that I get this message across. And this baton passing that you're seeing of information that's getting passed along is just, it's really fucking cool, man. It's really, really well done.
It all happens so fast. It's like all these years, these people are working on this project and trying to chip away at the Empire. And then as we get to the final stretch, it just all of a sudden just happens. It's like, oh my God, we know what the Death Star is. And now we're going to die because we know what the Death Star is. Well, we have to pass on this information before they kill us so that we can do something about it. And each person knows that as soon as they pass on that information, they're dead.
Yeah.
Right. And I keep thinking about Luthen with the guy who's flipped over from the Empire, the ginger guy.
The ginger guy.
Yeah.
And on that
it's
bench,
not important. He's a little bitch who did his part.
Yeah.
But
Luthen is so fucking mean to that guy.
Yeah, he deserves
Would you be
it.
grateful for once? God damn.
the scene on the bench is just, I think about that all the time. Hey, shout out to his big fucking scene in season 1. The whole speech that he gives. I fight for a sunrise I'll never see. I'm doomed to use the tools of my enemy. It's so
then he
good.
flies away in his spaceship, and it's like the coolest thing I've ever seen in Star
Incredible
Wars.
shit. Another point of the way that this season ends that's just like so like chef's kiss is that you have like the fucking cronies of the Empire. Of course, obviously with our boy Cyril, who literally spoilers for Andor, if we haven't indicated that already, but our boy Cyril, who gets fucking murked.
Who are you?
That shit rocks.
Great shit. But then fucking Dedra, who's like her entire life is like I will swear myself to the Empire and everything. And then where does she end up? She just gets fucking like just thrown into a goddamn cell.
Hey, shout out to
just,
Ben
like, rot
Mendelsohn
away.
here.
Ben Mendelsohn
On program.
throwing heat.
He's awesome. The guy, oh shit, what's his name? The main like big boss in the in the Empire.
Ben Mendelsohn.
No, the other guy.
No.
Oh my God, he's good.
Is it Anton? I think it's Anton Lesser.
Anton Lesser. Yes. This fucking guy.
Yeah, Partagaz.
Partagaz,
Major
yeah.
Partagaz. He, again, speaking to our just Star Wars casting, like he just looks like he has an
face.
Empire face.
He looks like the most British man ever born. Like,
It's awesome. He is so like he's the perfect amount of ham.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he understands the assignment perfectly.
I love that we never see the Emperor, but they're constantly talking about him. Because
they're all like
I think that's
they're all
really-
middle management.
Yeah,
they aren't talking to the Empire. The Emperor.
It being so divorced from like the concept of the Force until the very end was like a very important part of this specific segment of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as a person who has watched an awful lot of Star Wars, there's entirely too much stuff about the Force, but like it's a big galaxy. And I mean, even in like the original trilogy, like people are like, yeah, that's not real. You're making that up.
Han Solo, dude.
Yeah, it's really nice to have this kind of stuff that is, I don't want to call it grounded because it's still Star Wars.
But it feels real. I mean,
Yeah,
when
it's not space wizards, it's space western, it's space espionage.
Right.
Like, not everybody in the Star Wars universe is a space wizard.
Again, revolutions are pushed by like middlemen. Revolutions, and if you're trying to push change, it comes from the lower class and it comes from the middle. It doesn't come from fucking the top and like their superpowers of the Force or whatever the hell.
It also allows these performers to give performances that feel very believable, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of Who Are You, when Cassian sees this massacre unfold in front of him in Gorman and he's driving away, you close on this close-up on him, and that lands so well because you've grounded this character outside of Jedi and Force and all of the things that we've known Star Wars to be. But then you've layered all the iconography of stormtroopers, Empire, all of that stuff to make you feel like his journey is going to have this larger payoff. It's incredible. It's incredible to have this close-up of this guy reacting to something so visceral and so human and make it feel consequential in the full scope of this entire story.
Exactly. I mean, for that reason, like that's a great like symptom of this show just like distills everything that is great about Star Wars and gets rid of most of the stuff that I don't like about Star Wars.
They even let you have some glup shittos.
Yeah,
You know,
plenty.
Yeah.
Saw Gerrera showing up, Forrest Whitaker. I love Saw Gerrera because Saw Gerrera is a fucking insane person who huffs fumes.
We figure out he's just huffing shit.
Yeah.
I
He's
also like that thread doesn't really. He just like gets somebody else hooked on huffing fumes, and it's like we're just not really gonna like deal
don't
with
worry
that.
about it.
Like he's just.
I mean, Saw Gerrera like has like if you go way back into like his earliest origins and what they've like talked about for him, at least in like the Disney continuity. Like my first exposure to him was in the animated Clone Wars, and he was this fucking psycho piece of shit in that also.
Yeah.
Like he watches his sister die, and then he's like, "You're all unforgivable. I'm gonna have to become a monster to kill that which I hate." And it's like, "Hey, dude, like dial it back a little bit." But he plays such like an important role in the show. He doesn't feel out of place. He doesn't feel like he's like shoehorned in.
Yeah.
No. It's also just a chance for a good actor to give a really fun performance.
Yeah.
You know, like that's just some shit he would never do.
Talk like this.
Yeah.
He's really he's breathing in.
So generally the other, I mean, this is a bigger picture issue, but one of the only other things I could hold against the show is that as a single product, it doesn't fully work. If you
It has to tie into Rogue One.
And for that reason, this doesn't work as a series finale. It works as a season finale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You kind of have to watch
for the
Rogue
entire,
One.
like, because I watched this with my girlfriend who hasn't seen anything Star Wars, and we were both dialed on the show. It's a great show,
Including the first season.
yeah.
Okay.
But then when it ends, you're like, that's not the end of a show.
Did you guys
Like,
fire
there's
up?
no fucking way.
Did you fire up Rogue One afterwards?
No, because then,
You should
because
go back and watch. Rogue One's a good movie, man. Rogue One is, and I think that it is enhanced by this show.
well, I mean,
Like,
of course, it's enhanced by this show. This show is better than it.
Well, yeah,
Yes,
it adds
this
the
show
color.
it's so much better than Rogue
Well,
One.
yes,
I
it's so much. Fucking question.
I tried
Yeah.
to fire up Rogue One right after this, and it was like I remembered Rogue One being awesome, and then like watching it immediately after Andor season 2, it's like no, they fucked it up.
There's a lot of
entirely wrong.
CGI Tarkin.
There's a lot of, it's just if this is your entry point, you're going to run into some issues because also here's the thing. So, okay, you're like, okay, so I guess we should just fire up Rogue One. That's what happens right after this. In order to really understand why Rogue One matters, you have to go way back.
Yeah.
But none of Rogue One makes sense if you haven't watched the originals.
No, especially I think that the first like 20 minutes of Rogue One are bad. It's a really rough start to that movie because they jump like to like 8 different planets, and that's the point when they're like, Tony Gilroy, get in here and fucking fix this goddamn movie. And then Tony Gilroy did come in and fix
Remake
Rogue
it.
One.
Yeah. And so I mean, that's another, that's also why I was very hesitant to start the show because I was like, they made a show based on Rogue One of all the things.
Also, Andor is not like the main character.
Yeah.
No, not
It's
at all.
He's
not that
Felicity Jones is, like, the main
significant.
guy.
And this is like a good while after. One of my favorite things about the show is that like how Diego Luna has a tough acting assignment because like his character has to simply just be him. Like he walks into a room and everyone's like, damn, you're that guy.
That's Andor.
You have the skill set. You are the leader here. You know what I mean? And he doesn't necessarily look like that. He's kind of like mousy as a dude, especially because this is like 10 years after when he even played the guy in the first place.
Right.
I will say though,
But he has such aura to him, especially shout out to when he gets to queen out when he's pretending to be an artist.
Hell yeah.
In the hotel.
Valerian Sky.
so good. Valerian Sky.
The
So
costumes, the production design, the tactile look of this whole show is amazing. They put
So
so
good.
much work into
good.
these sets and just designing all these environments. I loved all of that. One last thing I wanted to shout out is the scene towards the beginning of when they have like the zone of interest meeting of the
Yeah.
Imperials to decide that they're going to destroy Gorman.
Where they show
That's great.
the Gorman like propaganda about their fucking spiders
Yeah,
and
the
everything.
spiders.
Yeah, and they cater it. They have like little like food, like little finger food when they're like, yes, we should definitely destroy this.
Yeah.
planet."
Zone of interest, a good comp for this.
Everything going on in those like Empire hallways and meeting rooms is so flawless. It's
And again,
so
tactile, real set.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. Like they're not sparing expenses, and then just like topically speaking, it's timeless because all the stuff will always be relevant. But speaking toward current moment stuff, it rocks. Shout out Dead Ramiro. I really love her.
Dude, Dedra Mearo's great. This whole cast is great. To the point about like the look of this show, and especially to Diego Luna, just his aura, man. A lot of just hot people in the show just being hot. You just get Diego Luna and fucking Adria Arjona together in a room, and you're just like, just be hot together.
Stellan Skarsgård.
Just fucking be radiating chemistry and heat off of each other, and it works.
All right, Andor is my number 1. Dane's 3.
My 3.
Drew's 6. Okay, so let's move on to Dane's number 1, which is
The Chair Company.
Let's get it. Chair Company.
Okay. Let's do it.
That's awesome,
Let's chat
Dane.
about it.
We got to clear the lane for Dane. He had the balls to put it number 1.
Let's go. Pop off.
It's hard to like verbalize what I love about this. It's got like everything that you want in like a Tim Robinson joint. Mm-hmm. Like the guy with the really like specific job.
I was gonna say it's a great mix of specificity and broad comedy. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of scenes where it's like the joke is just that there's noise going on. And like I listen to like Merzbow at like 2 a.m. in the dark. Like I'm like fucking here for just like, make me uncomfortable while I watch. I went down to Tallahassee and we watched like A Christmas Carol, and all I think about is just like hot throbbing cock. Like I don't know how I ended up here. And like if we want to like take it back to like Severance got like Reddit brain where it's like, oh, we're gonna like try and keep it ahead of like everybody else and whatever. The Chair Company is just sprinkling little bits and pieces all through the entire season, and then they just fucking rip the rug out from under you at the end.
Oh my god!
None of that made
episode.
It makes no sense.
That's my girlfriend, and then the season ends. That's crazy.
Like, it's just incredible. I watched it week by week with my girlfriend, who like I think I introduced her,
and she works at a chair company. Is that right? So she had a lot of
she still wants to be with you. Wow, that's a keeper.
I showed her like 2
I think if I showed this to Lee, I think she would never look at me the same again.
Yeah, like I've showed like I loved Friendship. I've seen Friendship like 15 times. And the Chair Company is just like, what if we did Friendship, but like as a TV show?
It just keeps going.
Yeah.
Like it's constant horror. And, like it's rubbernecking. I was so uncomfortable for the entirety of that show. Like
dare we say
baby?
Dare we say Lynchian?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, yes.
There was discourse about this.
You know what's the most Lynchian thing about it is the worker at the store, at the suit store, whenever he goes in there. That is the most Twin Peaks character that's ever. The way that he talks, he's just like, oh, well, we actually have a membership program just for you. Oh, I think I know the one who you're talking about. Like the way that he's talking.
Apparently, that's the real guy who works at that store.
Well, good job, I guess, for him.
He says the word member like 10 times in 30 seconds. And like, I don't know how you top that comedy. Like, it shouldn't be funny.
All I can say is that morale is really low in the office. I'm going to come dressed up as a chicken tomorrow. So shout out to the King, James Downey. What a year for our guy, Jim.
Yeah.
Big Jim.
Crazy year.
Just unreal.
Also in one battle. I don't know if we could even describe the plot of this show. I mean,
I don't think I could tell you the plot of the show.
No. It's a show that is a mystery, but then it almost wants to be an interesting mystery, but every time it starts to become an interesting mystery, it almost like
every time you start to understand it, it immediately stops you.
It almost like flicks you off for even like caring about the mystery aspect of it.
Buddy.
It's like we don't care about that. But what I will say. This was a new lane of our boy Tim. Like I've never seen this flavor of Tim before. Where
conspiracy thriller.
Tim is insane, but also he's like charismatic to everyone around him. Like everybody like looks up to to Ron.
Yeah,
and they like are all like are trying to either like get approval from him or like his whole family like really like loves him and admires
well,
him.
this is the first thing that it treats what Tim always has in everything is like he has an inability to stop himself from doing or saying something or feeling something that you're just like, dude, drop it. That's every single Tim Robinson thing. In this, it is treated like it's like an affliction he has, like it's an illness. Like he knows he needs to stop. His family talks about his past of like going way too deep into weird shit.
And
like
the Jeep tours.
His Jeep tours business.
Because
his daughter is like concerned for him. You know,
here's
like
the thing is
it's
that,
like he's a sick man.
But like we need to talk about how like a lot of times whenever like soldiers are getting back from war, they need like a really like safe way to experience the outdoors, but they still are like feeling a little bit of danger. So like what if you're driving faster than you should in a Jeep going off road, but like it's safe. It is in like a controlled environment. That's Jeep tours.
The tagline for the show is a man whose embarrassing workplace incident involving a faulty chair leads him to investigate a far-reaching conspiracy involving the chair company.
That's true.
Like, I watched the first episode and like they don't do justice the phrase an embarrassing incident with a faulty chair. Like that happens and I pause the fucking TV and I yell, "That's what this fucking show is about?" Are you fucking kidding me?
It's like the slap. You remember the slap?
Yeah.
It's like, wow, it's a whole show about that.
So I put this show right below Severance on my list, and
Similar.
I didn't think about it too much, but now sort of like contextualizing the whole thing in real time, I think where my mind was going, especially after talking about Severance, is that the finale of Severance was so good that it made me think that the whole season was as good as that finale. The finale of The Chair Company was so good that it made me feel like I wanted every episode to be like that.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing with this is, you know, you're stuck in this hole almost of trying to figure out like what's going on with this chair company. And does the conspiracy go all the way up, down? We don't know. It goes somewhere, and we're following
Red Ball, Market Global.
You can like call that number and listen to the fucking jingle.
Wait,
and I
really?
did that. Yeah,
That's
I
great.
did that one morning, and there's like a leaderboard for who's listened to it the longest.
So, spoilers for the final episode of The Chair Company, if you haven't seen it. But the moment when he discovers a new shape, and the mysterious man who that I guess owns the dog that he wanted,
that is like
turns into a demon.
That actually is like a David. Like
that's the most Lynchian part. Yeah,
that I have never felt that way ever in my life. I felt a feeling watching that I didn't have before.
It's like heroin. I get what you're saying.
And so I looked back and I'm like, why didn't they do that other times before?
You're right. I think, you know, there are definitely some episodes that are better than others. Not just the finale, which is its own thing, but like just in terms of the tone the show has, there are some episodes that are just funnier, you know, in that context than others. But it's an entirely unique product. There isn't anything. There's no comparison.
Right.
And the types of like just guys that they put into this show for like no reason other than like it like maybe kind of furthers the plot, but like not in a way that matters. Like here's a guy who's he's like dipping his fucking elbow in the cheese soup.
That's the guy with the dent in his head.
Yes. What is the point of any of this?
Well, that's the episode.
Oh, look at this guy. This guy wants to make sure that I don't get cheese on my shirt.
Isn't that the same episode that ends with the porno, the Christmas Carol porno? Because that's the whole.
Might be how that episode is.
That's the whole episode where he's like running through the halls of Mike's house.
There's
I
a
want to be a
recurring
bad guy.
bit about like I don't want to be a Scrooge because he watched Christmas Carol once and it like really affected him. Joseph Tedesco.
Spoilers. He didn't actually watch A Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is episode 5, titled "I Won Zoom In." where they try to find this guy who's pictured as a member of Red Ball Market Global, and they go to this bar, and it's very strange. And then they go into his house, and that's when they have him like film a video. He like runs into a back room.
And there's like, you have to kiss her. I'm cheating on my wife.
Which is definitely, that's going to come back in season 2 at this point. That they have a photo of him kissing a woman.
To bring it back to another bit, like the guy's got a squatter in his apartment. That's not important other than like they break the door down to the room that the squatter is in. And it looks ridiculous in there. Every bit of this show was crafted with some amount of care. But the type of care is not a care that I want anywhere near me. Right?
Well, it's like one of those things where there is like, what if we did an overlying plot, but like every time that, like every 2 pages of the script, whenever we think that we're starting to get a little bit too serious, we have to just like come up with the funniest thing possible to just like fix that, or something to undercut any kind of emotionality whatsoever. Like, for example, with the Mike character who you spend this entire season with and like really growing to kind of love in this way. And we're fully spoiling the show at this point, but we're like, oh, like he's trying to like reconnect with his kid that we meet here and like have this emotional moment. And then the girl shows up to his house and they're like, hey, Mike's like a bad dude. Like, that's not my dad. He had a heart transplant from my actual dad and then tried to be my dad. He walked me down the aisle and then was like, well, I'm not that much of your dad. So like, maybe we could date or something.
He's so fucked up.
He's just like crosses every line possible. Like, that's the beauty of this show, is that it is pushing the boundary beyond pretty much anything else on television. Yeah. It is it's incredible work.
Like, I almost want to say that like all of the one-off characters, like I don't want to say they did a better job than the main cast, but they are way more memorable than the rest of the main cast. For me,
I mean, most of the main cast has to, their job is
they're way more grounded.
Their job is to be, make this feel like it's like something.
Feel like a show.
Make you feel like you're on Earth, which they do a good job of. I mean, getting Lake Bell to do a show like this is insane. She's so overqualified to be like the wife that's like, honey, are you digging deep into something
Lou
again?
Diamond Phillips to just be like the boss character,
he's so
now
funny.
Might be like deep in the conspiracy web of everything that's going on, and then just getting like cucked by all of his friends whenever they go out to outings.
Yeah, it just brings you to play. Like, it's assembled in a way where like you are like looking. It's so clearly there's the craft and there's like a lot of time and detail put into the writing and things like production design that you're like, okay, so like this is going to make sense then, right? And it doesn't. Like, it flat out doesn't. Like, things that you go and see something just to see it. Like, it's like voyeurism.
Yeah.
Can I one of the funniest things is shout out to Connor O'Malley, who plays Pepperoni and Lice, who are two co-hosts of a podcast that Lou Diamond Phillips just puts on in his car as like a comedy routine, which is just guys screaming at each other. And it reaches a point where they're just going like, ah!
That was Connor O'Malley.
It's Connor O'Malley.
Yeah, that tracks.
It's just that he's just trying to like he just is playing it like in his house on a loop. It's so
I do think that this show has maybe something really profound to say about people who fall into conspiracy holes, and the fact that like you can never be satisfied.
Yeah.
There is always something deeper. And this is a guy who, stumbled upon something because of his need to feel, validated and not humiliated by his peers. And now it's like nothing will ever be satisfied.
There is no solution to this.
To take that like a step further, like it's also like, it's not just like people who fall into conspiracy holes, but like a subset of that people who like fucking hate their jobs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yeah,
you ever go to work and you just like, I'm gonna kill myself. Like,
yeah, Tim Tim and Zach, his co-creator, that flows through all their shit. Like I think you should leave. They just have a fascination with like normal jobs. Like they're obsessed with it. The concept of like going to work and being a guy who makes a mall.
That's not a normal job, Drew. I don't know what to tell you.
But like that's the humanity that's running through the show is like this just happens to be the one case where this guy is actually right about the conspiracy, but really, the real story would be like this guy is
totally wrong about it.
This guy is like digging for something because he's not happy. And so he needs to fixate on things, but because he's so like the YouTube comment he leaves, which is just like a very genuine.
So fucking fast.
It's just a comment you just see on YouTube. Like, it's so real.
His like interactions with the internet are really fucking funny. Him trying to like navigate all these different websites to try to find information.
It's
really
like,
funny.
It is like it plays into like how for most of the show, like he just happens to like actually bump into a real weird conspiracy. But like if you were to like try to find whoever made it share that you would run into like dummy websites that like are kind of not real. And they're like basically like ChatGPT generated with like stock photos of fake people. You know what I mean? He just is the one case where like it's a real like otherworldly thing going on.
I kind of hope that like season 2 like gets really weird and stops being grounded.
Yeah, that's
like
I kind of agree with what you were saying, Ernest, that like now that we've had a taste of how nuts they can go, like who's gonna stop them? You know what I mean? Like HBO is
I want to see it.
Like go nuts. Don't make any sense at all.
I want the woman who he like fell and like saw up her skirt. I hope she actually like does have like ESP.
Yeah.
Like
get this. We gotta get
toy with me.
supernatural.
Like let me think that like maybe this is all just nonsense, and then like no, it is actually real.
I love how many strange people are in this world. Like the guy was like, "This is an outside wheelbarrow, not an inside wheelbarrow. Don't tell anybody."
Do not.
The show for me has like a really like if you guys have seen Vice Principals,
the Danny McBride,
Danny McBride and Walton Goggins, where like it's grounded. Like way more so than the Chair Company, but there is something like really surreal about the concept of a vice principal like fucking like doing crazy amounts of felonies to become a principal, like and everybody's just treating it as like relatively normal.
Yeah. Well, the initial. Like when we think that he's found out like the extent of the conspiracy, like makes plenty of sense. It's just like, oh yeah, a government official is like involved in, like she's misappropriating funds to make profits.
It's
like, yeah, for sure. But it just doesn't stop there.
Yeah.
It just keeps going.
And also, like, he can't help himself to a certain point. Like he's just the whole thing where like he could let rest and he's like, he's just like in the room with his son. And he's like, yeah, like your dad, he did something pretty good for your mom. It did something pretty selfless, I'll tell you that much.
Well, doesn't the end of this show just like take all of the information that he has gathered and just throws it out the window? And it's like, no, the lady that you saw up her skirt, she has telekinetic powers.
It's just
two things. That's why this
two things are true.
And then it ends.
And it just ends.
It's just a coincidence.
I mean, good thing by this show that they announced like the day before the finale, like, don't worry, it has been renewed for season 2. Because otherwise people would be like, what?
Yeah, the last line of the whole show is, she's my girlfriend.
Yeah. I do want to give huge shout out to Andrew DeYoung, who I think like if we go back and listen to our friendship pod, I wasn't like ever mean about Andrew DeYoung, but it was a thing where it's like, okay, like you furthered the Tim bit, but like what else do you have? And I do think that this is very different from like friendship or from anything that Tim has done before that I'm really impressed with. Also, shout out Aaron Schimberg. Our guy from A Different Man, who also directs like half of the season,
which is I'm honestly like feel wise, like aesthetic and like vibe. It's not that different.
I see it. Yeah,
from A Different Man.
Absolutely gets it. So Man, I'm just all in on this. However much of this they want to make, I'm here for it.
Dane, would you try the gray meat that Mike kept talking about? Yeah. You want to try the gray meat?
I mean, I'll try anything once.
What is the Wendy's thing that
Wendy's Carvers? Right?
They're doing Carvers.
Wendy's
Carvers is so funny.
No, and then I like how his daughter is like basically gonna have to break off
she's in a toxic relationship.
She has to break off her marriage because
her fiance fucking sucks.
Grace Ryder.
Oh my god.
So Grace Ryder is someone. If I were to bet money, I think she's on SNL within the next 2 years. She's blowing up. She's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, she just
shout Sophia Lillis from It. Yeah, It and Sharp Objects. That's what the show is.
Yeah.
Sharp
Nice.
Objects same.
The Chair Company.
the son is like so clearly like 35 years old.
So funny.
What's he doing in the basement?
Also, watching him just like sadly drink a beers. It's like,
And then I feel better. And then I drink a couple more beers. And then I start to feel even better.
that's so stupid.
Got the fucking take. You feel like
Good.
you're unlocking repressed memories that it's great. Go watch it.
He is 24 years old. Our favorite
God.
teenage son.
The Chair Company. Dane's number one. So worthy. Love it. It is my 8, Drew's 5, and Hunter's 4.
Yeah.
All right, we have one last show to talk about. It's Hunter's number 1.
Let's talk about the rehearsal. So the Pit was my number 1 for like most of the year. And then I don't know, whenever I'm making these lists and it comes on to the end, it's like, well, like what is like the most one of one shit? And like what's something that can't be done before? And like I think that I would say the same really for the Pit, Andor, Chair Company, obviously, and this, like where it's just like there's nothing else quite like this. But really the rehearsal for me is just kind of on another level, where again, not to use the whole finale and where we kind of tie up on things for like is this make this an effective episode or effective season of television or not? But this is a show that's kind of all building towards this one moment, whether you expressly realize that it's building towards that moment or not.
The Miracle on the Mojave.
It's the Miracle on the Mojave.
All those people would have died.
This is so like the season, I was enjoying it. We did a whole deep dive episode on it, but really it's episode 3. It's Pilot's Code. It's when
The Sully
are reenacting the life of Mr. Sully Sullenberger, where this like I was ascending. Like I was at a
special
point,
stuff.
It was almost, that point of like of you're so like amused you're beyond laughing that you just kind of are like sitting there like with your mouth agape, just
jaw open.
in awe of what's happening. That's how I felt for like the full runtime of this episode and for at other multiple points in the show, because I do think that like it's the Nathan bit, which I think that whenever the rehearsal season 1 came out, it was my number 1 of the year that year. But like,
Yeah, it was.
It is Nathan like doing his shtick. Like we still get something like the I believe it's Kiss Me is the episode where we have the members.
Our guy, Colin.
And we have our guy Colin
With 1 L.
we have different people like bringing in their
pack.
loved ones, their girlfriends, their boyfriends and girlfriends to watch them like actively fucking other people, because it's like, oh no, she's just like a really good actor.
She's a professional.
Yeah, she's a professional.
Yeah. It's nice to see her work like this, you know?
Something like that is like a classic Nathan bit, but there's like I don't know if it's sincerity is the right word to it, because it's still part of the character, but it's something that is a little bit more nuanced to what Nathan has brought before, where it doesn't feel the line between the character Nathan, the real life Nathan, is getting more and more blurred. Like intentionally so, like that. The thing where it's like, does he really care about airline safety? And is he really like trying to actually confront like his neurodivergence and wonder if he is autistic or not?
To that point, like if you haven't seen the interview that he did with the flight guy,
on CNN
on CNN, that's just a perfect continuation of the season.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, I'm just like, well, this isn't like getting more numbers for him. Like, this isn't getting views for HBO. So like
this has like less than half the viewers of season 17 of Sunny I'm seeing right now. Yeah, which is kind of crazy to me. I think it's definitely better than season 17 of Sunny, but like in the sense that it's fucking disgusting and nobody else in the world is doing anything like this.
How do they compare to Landman?
Yeah, the Landman viewership.
Landman numbers.
The people can't shut the fuck up about Landman. Hey, save it.
So
you guys ready to talk about Stranger Things? We'll get into that.
It's the plus and the minus of like him getting like carte blanche to do whatever he wants with this show and with this money. He does a whole Wings of Voice fake
exactly
like
within the show.
You get all the stuff he's done on Nathan For You and everything before that, where he loves just doing like genre parody and taking advantage of his access to reality show resources to just make a fake reality show. He's done that 1 billion times. But it's within the context of like a bigger narrative. So the question of, whether or not you like this more is like, are you comfortable with the lack of structure here? Because at times I think, that's what makes the show sing and soar, and like it explores like the outer reaches, and it gets into like trippy, like performance art in ways that nothing he's ever done could. But then also like, there are lulls, and there are also just times where it's like, damn, I genuinely would watch way more Wings of Voice. Like that was so funny.
Shout out to Big Nick Lusco for arranging that medley that they sang at the very end. It's so cool that he got to do that.
I love the whole overarching theme of, can a pilot increase the safety of a flight by having more interpersonal dynamics within the cockpit, right? And they broaden out the scope as the season goes on, but the way they use the singing competition to simply gauge the ability for the pilot to have some type of amicable like friendliness, and then they kind of broaden out from there. And you shout out the Kiss Me one, the whole thing about like, can they even go on a date? And then you have the Sully episode where it's like, can we transplant the personality of Sully Sullenberger into any pilot? And it's all, crazy, ridiculous, weird, funny shit. But at the core, it's that question of airline safety, saving lives. Can we actually use this for good? But I don't think that Nathan is ever fully interested in actually helping people.
No,
like, that's never his MO.
Definitely not. And that's ultimately like, that's something that did bug me watching the season, is the big climax of his actual plight is very intentionally not effective. Like he gets in the room with this senator or whatever, and it's really clearly like not the right guy to be meeting with. And he, because of like the little, like fake, like the meta narrative about like Nathan as a character, Nathan in real life intentionally like tanks this meeting.
Yeah.
Just so as to like forward the plot of the episode. And it's frustrating to watch because you're like, hey man, do you want this to be real or do you not want it to be real?
No, he doesn't.
Well, I think that is like a point where like that is like more of a specific plot point. And I bump up against that too. I think that we talked about that whenever we did our episode on the rehearsal. But I do think that like Nathan does care about like maybe we should pay more interest to the mental health of pilots in this country, like, because he is very much throwing a magnifying glass on the whole thing of like if you are a pilot, you are under immense stress and you are probably very much in need of therapy. But the fact that getting therapy could cause you to lose your license, that is like a very central idea of this whole story that like he is trying to put out to the world to show like the flaw in the mechanics behind this. And even if it's not going to be like the whole idea of like we have to play a game of like pretend with each other, like obviously that is not the answer, but it's like the messaging behind it is coming.
Oh yeah,
clear.
and when it is like
across.
obviously it's a genuine fixation of his. Like this is just something the guy himself is obsessed with.
Well, he is a pilot
He
now.
literally spent like thousands of hours learning to fly.
Yeah.
So that's
And I
a real thing.
I think I brought it up when we talked about this initially, but there's a whole chapter of the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell about this, about how it like where he posits this same question. It's just like so many accidents, if you read flight logs, are because of communication issues. What if we change that? Now Gladwell himself, he wrote really poorly about it and like mistranslated a lot of Korean in order to make his own points more effective. So that sucks, but like it's a notion that's been like thought of before. He just explores it. The amount of angles he's able to take here, in order to like go after the same general topic is just so insanely cool. It's something you could never see at any other point in history. Someone getting the budget to do some weird fucking shit like
recreates
this.
a whole airport terminal, recreates a cockpit and uses the volume around it for simulations.
Recreates a man's life from birth. And that's when it,
uses an HBO budget to crank off, presumably in a fake airplane.
To crank off an
jack off to completion.
Yeah. And don't worry, he did bring back the exact bar replica from season 1. So at least he is reusing some sets.
Yeah.
Incorporate that into the airplane.
It's just really cool. You know what I mean? Like
the titty milk waterboarding.
Milk fucking incredible.
It really
that's cinema.
It's
to
like
me that is
really,
cinema.
yeah, it's just like high performance art to conceptualize that, and like play it off as like a genuine earnest attempt to do what he's trying to do, when really what he's trying to do is just like an artistic stroke that has just never been done before.
Do you guys think
it's really
it's
cool?
Do you guys think it's an improvement on season 1? Because I know a lot of the complaints.
Yeah, I think it's pretty handily an improvement on season 1. Season 1 to I know that y'all might not feel the same, but season 1 to me really felt like it got fucked by COVID, and he made the most, like he made the absolute best of what he was given there.
Well, it's not
but
just
like
that, but it's also like how he treated that kid is a little icky.
Yeah.
I didn't like watching that.
Yeah.
I don't think you're
pretend
supposed
daddy?
to like
No, you're not
watching
supposed to like
most of this.
I think that there is a magic to season 1 just because it is like the first time of seeing this. This is definitely like ethically the better one.
Right.
And that's even this, like, when in the audition scenes for Wings of Voice, he breaks that little girl's heart. He makes her cry.
Yeah.
The difference to me is that like that is the exact format that real singing reality shows break millions of little girls' hearts by doing that exact same thing. He just is doing it with no intent to ever give her what she wants. So there's still plenty of moral like gray area. There was an adult woman who was really pissed off because she
spent thousands of dollars flying back and forth.
That was so stupid. Like that lady's a fucking dumbass.
If you're going to spend all that money to go on a show called Wings of Voice, where your singing talent is judged by real life airline pilots,
and you're singing like Amazing Grace,
you need to go back to fucking school.
And here's the thing, and if you happen to notice about whenever that all got brought up to light, she just like very conveniently had just dropped an EP on Spotify like that same week. It's like, okay, like, it can smell through the lines here a little bit about what's happening.
And Hunter, you never did tell us why you were flying back and forth during that same time period that Wings of Voice was shooting.
I did sign an NDA, so I can't explicitly talk about it, but like I if you do see like an extra couple thousand in my bank account, it is because I did sue Nathan Field. And part of the NDA was that I did have to have this as number 1 on list.
You like for like a couple days there, you like dumped Gaia. You said you were like moving on to your number had been called or something.
It was more of like I was like rehearsing like what it would be like.
You hit it big.
Yeah.
Oh,
Are we getting a season 3?
I was trying to look it up. I was talking with, there's a bunch of rumors that are floating out there right now about like what Nathan is doing of just like different. I think what's hard to follow with Nathan is that like, he's just kind of always up to shit.
Yeah.
And so now it's reached the point where like, I don't remember what, there was some like unsubstantiated rumor about like what he was doing that I don't even remember anymore that already got debunked. So I think that everything, he now is like such a
Theranos lady, right?
Yes.
Meeting with
Elizabeth
Holmes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was seeing that. Apparently that is not directly it, or at least it hasn't been. Who knows? Like maybe it will be, it'll come back to the Elizabeth Holmes stuff of whatever that's going to be, getting into the mind of criminal. But we'll see. I think at this point, everything Nathan does has a magnifying glass on him.
I would imagine like, she is like an obvious fixation target for Nathan because he's obsessed with deception, and her entire thing was that she basically made up like $1 trillion company and was able to get really, really far in the process of like gathering capital and tricking people while being like 100% fraud. That makes a ton of sense for him to want to sort of like, what if he like founds a company and sees how far he can get with it? You know what I mean? He also
founded Klarna.
He also really likes like skirting the legal system. You know what I mean? He likes fucking with like, how close can I get to getting arrested? How, I can fly a jet. If I just follow these bylaws.
They're actors. They're not passengers.
Exactly.
Is Klarna the betting? What's the bet?
No, you're thinking Kalshi.
Klarna is like a firm or like zip payments. That's Kalshi is.
Did you guys
Kalshi's evil.
Did you guys see him moderate that Q&A?
There is a Kalshi bet on under 5 hours for this podcast.
Oh, good.
I did put up before he started. So,
did you guys see the Q&A that he did with for Begonia with Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons and Yorgos?
No.
what?
Yeah, he's just so awkward. He's like basically playing a character.
Why is he hosting a Q&A? It's a terrible host choice.
He's homies with Emma.
Yeah.
I know, but he's not like who I would pick to like.
No, absolutely
MC.
not.
Oh, he didn't ask a single good question.
Yeah, that would be all about. It's going to be about him.
Dane, any last thoughts?
Hunter, I think you were on. Was it Hunter? You said like a lot of like season ones.
Yeah,
I think you're on to something about that. There's a lot of new TV that seems to be like really pushing boundaries, and I think like the mega slop, your Stranger Things, your Marvel TV shows, those are definitely dying, and I think that's kind of like an internet fracturization kind of thing. Just excited to see where that goes, and hopefully, good stuff gets to keep being made.
Yeah, the Rehearsal season 2 and Andor season 2 are the only not first season shows on my list.
Unless, yeah,
It's kind of crazy. I will say, Fallout season 2 ongoing right now. It is not wrapped up.
have you watched it?
I have not finished it. I've watched.
I haven't started it.
It's got some weird pacing issues, but in the penultimate episode, I think it's
I have not caught up.
pretty solid.
But hey,
yeah,
I
I have a couple honorable mentions.
Get into it.
I just want to Peacemaker. If it was like written a little bit better,
Talk about slop.
yeah,
that's some sloppy slop.
It's fully cementing my like theory that like James Gunn is a better director than he is writer, and the sooner he figures that out, the happier everybody will be. I really liked letting John Barenthal's Punisher kill cops in the Daredevil series, which was like 90% slop, 10% John Barenthal being killing cops.
Speaking of, I've been watching His and Hers.
That's
is that
on
good?
my list of things to
that's
throw
a
on
show.
for this
I thought
year.
that was a movie.
No, it's a show. It's Netflix
Miniseries.
slop. It's not great.
Oh,
It's not great.
It's not great. It might be. It might be okay, honestly, but it's definitely meant for you to like be on your phone.
tough.
Classic Netflix slop.
What else you got, Dane?
I'm pretty big on the second season of Fiona and Cake, but I cannot in good conscience recommend that to anybody who has not seen the entirety of Adventure Time and all of its spinoffs. At this point, the first season I felt okay with doing. The second season I do not feel okay with doing. And lastly, very important people. hosted by Vic Michaelis on
Hey.
Dropout.
Oh,
Hell fucking
okay.
yeah. Dropout's
Yeah.
incredible, man.
The entire premise of just put improv comedians in obscene makeup and let them film an interview.
All of Dropout's game shows are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's the closest thing we'll ever have to Whose Line being back.
I need to lock into Dropout. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
What do you guys got? Any?
My biggest, so I have a couple of shows that I started and I just didn't have time to finish on here. One of them that definitely would have made my list is where my unc's at. Where my grandpa's at. Because I've been locked into the American Revolution on PBS. This is the new Ken Burns docuseries that is phenomenal. It's I think it's 8 parts, 8 hours. Or no, it's 6 parts, 2 hours each. So it's in total like 12 hours of going through the origins of the American Revolution all the way
films.
through to it basically is. It is very much in true Ken Burns' passion, drawing the connection from the past to the current. A lot of things about wouldn't it be really fucked up if there was like standing militaries in peaceful cities? That'd be really fucked up and you'd want to fight up against that, right?
Don't tread on me.
Yeah.
Tread on me, daddy.
Really well done. A lot of maps. I don't know, dude. I have a lot of thoughts about Benedict Arnold that I would love to get into with you guys and with any other people under the age of 72.
Are you pro Benedict Arnold? Are you about to zag?
No. I'm not pro Benedict Arnold. I do have a lot of thoughts about George Washington, though. George Washington, low-key a bad commander. Like, he led to a lot of L's, man.
Well, you know,
he was a real fucking Hugh Jackson out there on the goddamn field.
Everyone shat their pants back then.
He ended up coming back, but like he fucked us. He lost New York for years for us because my guy just kept forgetting to like watch out for a flank. It's an awesome show. I highly recommend it. The other one that we did talk about here that I started, I did not finish, English Teacher. Had a very unceremonious season 2 final season
For purpose.
because there was some great stuff.
I still want to see it. I only watched the first episode.
It's a great fucking show.
The very first episode is
fucking stunning.
It's doing what if there was Angels in America, but like modern kids, they're just like, we want to make a musical because dramas are boring. And also like AIDS doesn't mean anything to us. Our AIDS was COVID. So they make COVID in America. And it's just going,
it's fucking awesome. It's really good. If anything, one wish I have for the show, speaking of like being locked into structure, God, those episodes need to be longer. The COVID in America, that should be like 45 minutes, man. It's so funny. And it has to be 22 minutes. It has to be written for commercial breaks because it's running on FX. It's just like, I found myself frustrated a lot with that.
Yeah, that one is a bummer. The fucking dinner party episode is so goddamn funny. It's so good. It is like peak, like cringe. Like you want to like stand up and like pace around your living room while you're watching it, but very, very good.
It really is.
Our boy Jimp
gets a lot to do. Carmen Christopher in this season. Just generally, it really was like a great show. The people, behind it, beyond Brent Jordan Alvarez, who is the reason for the show and also the reason it was canceled is because of his weird, icky misdeeds in the past that came to light. But beyond him, you have writers who are just like tried and true, like Dave King is on it, and then like Jonathan Kreisel is directing a lot, and like he's involved in producing. Like it's people who have done all of our best shit mixed with like new talent that we hadn't seen before. So it was a great show, but it was a little hard to separate art from artist in season 2. Watching it, you're like,
that's a little tough.
Yeah,
that's a little tough. New King of the Hill is very good. It's for people who don't know, it is like just that everybody has kind of grown up and they have moved back from Saudi Arabia back to Texas. It's King of the Hill, man. It's just Mike Judge coming back. Great show. Heated Rivalry.
Haven't seen it.
I saw
It ended
seen
in
about 3 episodes.
2026,
All the
so
things
it
you
can
said,
be
all
on
the things
next
you said,
year's.
running through my head,
there you
running
go.
through my head, running through my head.
I saw 2 eps.
Man,
I don't believe in hockey.
oh well, I have good news for you.
Hockey-
Hockey is basically non-existent.
Yeah,
in the
it's
show.
not really a
How do you-
factor.
We
how do you
don't
feel about
recognize
gay
hockey in
sex?
this.
How do you feel about active, like just dudes going at it like 6 minutes? In
Did they
the first
show
episode?
dick?
Everything.
No,
they show
I'm
a
not
lot
watching
of,
it then.
They show a lot of blowjobs at like really improbable
No,
angles.
blowjobs where it's like a guy sucking a belly button. I'm like, there's
Yeah,
no.
he's like
dick
2
that's up
feet away
there.
from the dick.
Yeah, come on, get closer to that cock, my guy. But you know, I watched like probably half the season. I will give I think that the show for the most part looks like butt. It looks really bad and ugly. But I did like the Scott and Kip episode 3.
That's the one that my girlfriend said I really should have watched.
It's like it's the first one where it feels kind of like a rom-com. Unfortunately, it's still like an hour, and it's like, why isn't the entire show just based around these two people? Because it's like actually more of a rom-com and a romance, and the episode more feels like a montage. But you know, I'm one of the girlies, so I gotta give a shout out to that.
All right, time to shout out the Discord fam. Gaia says her favorites are Heated Rivalry and Haha You Clowns. Victoria,
what a duo.
Oh, nice.
Victoria says,
How many people do you think have those 2?
One of one, baby. That's my wife right there.
Victoria says the Pitt and Heated Rivalry. Mitt says Severance. Zach says the Chair Company and the Rehearsal, specifically the Paramount Plus episode.
Oh my God, we didn't even give a mention to that shit. Which, by the way, hey, also, like in the world where there's Paramount and Warner Brothers fighting each other, do you think that ever came up in the discussion? That they were just like, we actually are making a stance by not selling to
Gestapo.
Paramount right now because we don't want to sell to the Gestapo.
Colin says the Rehearsal. Harry says, haha, you clowns.
Let's go. There are dozens of us.
Oh, Zach also throws in Smiling Friends.
I started watching that last year, and it's a funny show. Again, it makes me wish that it came out when we were in college. But it's a good
his
show.
Name? We should have never left Afghanistan. I'm blanking on his
Connor
name.
O'Malley.
Yeah.
Connor O'Malley is a guest voice actor in the first episode of season 3 of Smiling Friends.
And Jess says task.
Nice.
Let's go.
It's not TV, but I really enjoyed the NBA playoffs last year, specifically the Indiana Pacers run. I think this was a very good 2025 NFL regular season. Go Pats, baby. We were on the eve weekend of the Pats winning their 7th Super Bowl. So
that is
gonna be really
that is
good.
that's
Right.
next week.
Yeah.
I thought that was tomorrow.
I hope that feels earned for you.
Yeah, it does.
Guys,
Listen, they all fucking ring the same, baby. And this one will hit
It's basically George Washington. It's like, you know what I mean? They can fuck up all they want. But if the other team, the other team fucks up more, then what are you going to do? You know what I mean? You guess you just win. I guess we get to be a country.
guys, the Bear,
fucking the bitter Dolphins fans.
the Bear season 4. I liked it. It was good.
Still cranking those out.
It's the Carmi redemption tour. Improvement over season 3.
I need to watch it. I did not finish season 3 because I was so not into that season. I need to catch up.
Yeah, it makes it so season 3, the lows of season 3 are worth it because you're kind of coming up thematically out of that slump. Hacks, where my Hacks
Still
heads at.
cranking them out. Yeah.
Great season once again. Alien Earth, Survivor.
Hey, Survivor 49 is
48.
very good. Great winner for 49.
Yeah.
Very good winner. Maybe not great.
And Stranger Things was bad.
I just started watching. The Traitors. It rocks. Traitors rocks.
Okay.
Wait, Dane, did you finish Stranger Things?
Yeah.
I still haven't finished it because every episode is like 2.5 hours long, and I'm like, that's not TV anymore.
I dipped out like 8 years ago.
People will keep asking. They're like, "Wait, Dane, you watched Stranger Things?" I'm like, "Well, I watched it." And they're like, "Well, you haven't been chiming into the conversation." And I'm like, "Well, that's because I only have negative things to say."
You probably don't want to hear my thoughts. Then.
Dane, we're having discourse over here. Join us.
All right. That is it. We can wrap it up there. Thank you all for listening. Please rate, review, and subscribe, like, and comment. Let us know your thoughts on our favorite TV shows of 2025. Let us know your picks for your favorite TV shows of 2025. WeBoughtAMic.net, patreon.com/WeBoughtAMic. Thank you, donors. Join the Discord. Next week, it's the WBAMmies, our annual celebration of the year. Dane, thank you for joining us. We'll see you on the Denzel series.
Denzel
coming very soon.
I get football.
I was going to say, can we announce the movie yet, or that
you got the much fought over Remember the Titans? The knives are out for this one.
I cannot believe that was the number one Denzel requested from everybody.
It's a millennial classic.
It is a millennial classic.
But yeah, thanks again, buddy. We'll have you on for that, and then we'll have you on again next year for this. If we survive, we'll see how it goes in America. Maybe we'll be doing this podcast via Morse code.
Maybe it'll be like pirate radio podcasting.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Until then, stick around. We'll see you next time. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.